UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf 10. I'm your werewolf. Here today to have just fun. Fun, as always. This is going to be the new format, guys. Where I'm going with this is we're going to have topical topics on Tuesdays, and Thursdays will be relegated to fun streams where you guys have time to think about what kind of topics we could cover. Just to keep the momentum up, guys. The UN Spacey don't take no breaks. We do not. I'm here with me, the man, the myth, the FN, the number, the Trooper FN 2525.
Hey guys, what's going on? Trooper FN 2525 from Imperial Occupied Balmora coming to you live. Go ahead and hit like, share, subscribe. If you have any ideas for today's stream, throw them in the comments. As always, if you want to get a hold of us, we are on MeWe.com. Let's get started.
The lovely Lady Valor will be showing up shortly. Don't worry, guys. She is not absent. It's time difference, of course. But let me welcome to the chat so far, everybody. Oh, man, you guys are really just slamming me about the start time. Come on. Come on, man. Y'all, I already gave y'all my reason why I do what I do. You see, you remember that Samuel Jackson line from Jackie Brown, right? Try to help a brother out, and then they start trying to break you off.
All I gotta say is, hey, you know what? You know, it's like,
I knew he's
hate the player, hate the game. You know, either way, like, you know.
Let me stop being passive aggressive. You got.
How's it go? Don't hate the player, hate the game, bro.
I'm just saying. Let me stop being passive aggressive. I do appreciate you guys being patient with me being patient with us starting, and all that stuff. I know. I've been making a habit of starting a little bit late than usual, but like I said, I try to get everybody to show up and not be lost, or at least having to backtrack and let us know what you guys missed so far. But it's my stream. I try to do as I do right by you guys. That's what I try to do. I try to do right by you guys. Manu was first. You guys didn't see his comment earlier, but he was first. So hey, Manu. Melissa Harris had popped in as well. She says hello.
Yep,
Dr. Y beating the Maverick Hunter Saint Brian Gill Martin. Usually the Maverick Hunter Saint is really first, but you know, where you been at, man? Where you been at? You know the time, you know the dates. You should be here on time, man. Maybe you started working again. Who knows? Dr. Y, with your jokes. We have Chris P with us. Hey, Chris P. Hey, my man. Sam Proctor is also here. Come on, man. As the stream goes, you better have some topics, man. Y'all are creative. Don't tell me y'all ain't got no topics to think of. Come on, ask any random question, and that could be a topic. Trying to encourage you guys to think for yourselves for once. Got 6 people in here. Nice.
Be like,
let's see who else dropped in.
Chicken and stuffing. Oh, I have to cook at one point. I don't want to cook.
Oh, hell, Eloise. Hey there. Ha ha. Y'all funny. Oh, nice. Oh, by the way, hang on. There was a comment that stood out to me. Let me see. Who was it? I know Sam Proctor did I don't know anything about this kind of topic. Sam Proctor, I have a small comic collection. I'm not really that, I would say I'm more of a collector of sketchbooks, if you will. But he also mentions that it's his parents' anniversary. Happy anniversary to them, guys. Let them know I said that. And yeah, you're funny, Dr. Y. You're funny. I bet you if I do this start on time, you guys are going to be more forgiving, or maybe you guys are probably going to get annoyed about me starting too early. And y'all be like, what are we talking about? What did I miss? Ha. You wish I started late this time, huh? Yeah, whatever. Let me stop being passive aggressive. I'm being a sour wolf right now. Somebody help me. So, anyways, what has how's your day been going so
I'm just
far,
enjoying
Trooper?
my coffee. It's been pretty slow. I mean, it's been a pretty fun week. I've definitely been tuning out from all the news. I mean, I keep seeing it in chat. And I'm like, sorry. Uh, in terms of like news, there hasn't been anything like really, really shocking or any type of revelations that we didn't already know.
Yeah,
Um, stuff is still going on in Arizona. It's you still we're still hearing. So I mean that kind of it kind of keeps me entertained. I got a little mini garden. I think I told you earlier. And doing a little bit of gardening and horticulture. So I got a little bit into that. So far, my potatoes actually look pretty decent. I mean, they're going to be pretty tiny because
hang on, Trooper. You know what? Everybody's been asking questions in the comments. You know what? Let's do call this a Q&A stream too. It's a fun stream, but it doubles as a Q&A stream. So yeah, I'm gonna be getting to your questions, but go ahead and continue, Trooper.
yeah. So I mean, I've been doing that. In terms of culture news, it's all the same
Yeah,
stuff. It's
I,
just
I've just been tuning out
for the
so far.
directions of IPs. Yeah, and for me, my opinion has always been okay. That's great.
And
What's
you already
next?
heard me
So,
on Tuesday. I'm
what
like,
I'm
bro,
what
I'm working on furry robot Johnson. You think I got time to
what
be
well,
upset about
I
this?
well, like I've told you in the green room a few times. Like I've kind of pushed past all that. These or even publicly on stream, that this is actually a very good time to go ahead and be a creator, whether you're creating
Hmm.
content for streams, whether you're actually creating stuff in terms of graphic novels, or if you're into writing, or if it's
Yeah,
small independent films, because the
like I've
demand
been
is there
proposing
now.
since the
The
beginning
demand is there.
of
Everyone everyone is
sorry.
too fixated. I was gonna say everyone is too fixated on the car wreck. You know how like when you're on like a freeway or highway, there's a car wreck and everyone slows down like
Yeah,
to go ahead and crane their neck and stare. That's kind of what we're in right now, and the time period that we've been in for at least last I want to say the last 5 years or so.
I'll give you
After
another
Disney,
analogy too.
acquired some IPs,
Let me add another analogy. It's like
like
people are staring at the little trash bit next to the trash can, and they're talking about how somebody just left it there and nobody dares pick it up.
that sounds more like work conversation. Yeah, the other day I walked by there and with all this trash, it's terrible. Somebody needs to pick it up. And it's like, isn't that
Too.
your job?
Speaking of situations like that,
Right?
I've seen stuff like that happen. Like I throw my hands up and I said, "Well, somebody's
Yeah.
got to do it," or you know what I'm saying? bruh, it ain't gonna clean itself. So look. If I take it upon myself to do it to get it done, I'm not gonna sit here complaining about how
Right.
somebody else could done. It's like that. It's like that line from Equalizer 2. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever watched Equalizer 2?
Mm.
I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
No, no, no. I haven't.
Yeah, it was a line from
But I'll tell you
Denzel,
what,
and this is why Denzel is my will always be my role model
hmm,
of all people,
right,
because not only does he has good directors and good writers on his side, but he makes these lines sound definitely like an eye opener, especially with this
right.
one line. I'm on IMDb. I'm gonna get the quotes real quick. They didn't reformat themselves. Good on you.
Hmm.
Whatever. Where is it? Where is it? It's this one line where he's talking to Miles. There's this one character named Miles,
Hmm.
and oh, they don't have it. They don't have it. But it was a hang on. This is Equalizer 2, but they it was a poignant line too. Anyways,
Hmm.
to paraphrase, he said he said it'll still be there, and it'll just be people will be around saying, dang it, sorry, I gotta get the line right. I know I quoted it on in a YouTube vid of it. Let me see. Sorry guys, I don't mean to slow us down.
You're slowing us down.
I know.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, what
Thank
was I
you.
going to say?
Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say was we're in like this bubble, this 5-year bubble that just hasn't really gone anywhere. And to be perfectly honest, that's gonna happen, especially since we don't have any new IPs developing. We just don't. No one's looking to, in terms of like the big companies, they're not looking to expand or do anything else. I mean, they've been acquiring. That's all they've been doing. So,
I found it. Let me quote it real quick.
okay.
He says supposed to do and will do are two different things, Miles. I guess anybody could do, but nobody does. Ends up everybody complaining because nobody did what anybody could have done or should have done to begin with. And I think
Hmm.
I add something else to. Oh, wait, okay, yeah, but yeah, that was a line that stood out to me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna use I'm gonna use that model as my mantra. It's like do it because I'd rather be the person that does it than rather than complain about
Hmm.
what should have like who should have done it. You know what I'm saying? I also like this line too, and I quoted it too, and he says, but it takes brains to keep it. I forgot what line that Miles had gave him, but he fires back with that.
Yeah.
He says, but it takes a brain to keep it. We had a little late.
Well, I'm kind of.
Hang on.
I'm
We got we have to stop ourselves to make a grand entrance for the lovely lady of Valor, Leia plus eyes. Hello, Leia.
Hey fellas, how are you? Hope I didn't interrupt anything.
You forgot your entrance.
Oh, I thought okay, revert it back. Okay.
oh, hello, hello.
I
There
was
you go.
just
I did it. I did it.
hey fellas, hey everybody
I
out
could
there.
feel it.
Trooper, I truly believe you could, but I think I'll just take over from here if you don't mind. I have the absolute trust that you could, but I will take over here from right now. I'm humble. I don't need too much of grand entrance, but since you're giving me the cue to do so, might as well, hey, take advantage of it. All right, this
hmm
is your
Right.
lovely Leia Valor. Um, how you all guys doing today?
We're doing fine. I was talking about a quote from the Equalizer Part Two from Denzel, the man himself, and it was, and
Hmm.
we're talking about work related stuff, and we're talking about how an analogy that I brought up was that it's like trash being around like just a little bit of trash outside of a trash can, and there's people just surrounding it. They're surrounding it, and they're just talking about how somebody should have just threw it in the trash, but nobody picks it up and throw it in the trash. Remember that commercial? That commercial where somebody just looking at a crumpled up piece of paper outside of a trash can, and people are just looking at it, just talking about how somebody should throw it in the trash, and this random white boy just comes up, pick it up, and just throws it in the trash. And it's basically like just saying any one of you guys could have done it, any one of you. But I'm gonna reread the quote, and it said supposed to do and will do are two different things, Miles. I guess anybody can do, but nobody does. Ends up everybody complaining because nobody did what anybody could have or should have done to begin with.
Is our moral for today, or that was just a particular quote you wanted? You guys were talking about that quote.
That's a particular quote that stood out to me when I first watched Equalizer 2,
Yeah,
and
that's
how I try to use that as a mantra to get me to get off my behind and do some stuff, or at least how I tend to look at my work nowadays. Now, like I'd rather be the person that actually did something about it, and somebody actually complain about who should have done about it. Especially when it comes to work spills or anything that could have been prevented, work related. I mean. So I'm not gonna be like that worker, like oh, this worker should have done this, or that no, I'm gonna take it upon myself to get it done. So even if it does even if nobody actually follows my example, I'm just like, you know what, it's on them. You know what I'm saying? It's on them if they don't follow my example, but at least the example is set right there. And so far, it still keeps me in good faith with everybody in the higher ups. Like Wolf is still a good worker despite any flaws or faults that we can find in him. He's a dedicated and committed worker. Before we move on to something else, I'm gonna address Melissa about the CW Powerpuff Girls. Melissa, we're not talking about that show at all. Like since this announcement, I'm like, I don't care. I really do not care.
Can
I
I
still
say something?
I can go ahead, Leia.
No, finish your rant. I want you to get your expression out, and then I was just going to say a little something at the end. But please
Yeah,
do go right ahead.
yeah. I saw it on Twitter, right? I'm like, I don't care. They they look. CW is gonna run things to the ground. The best thing you could do is not tune into it, because if you're gonna say that they plan to ruin whatever and you still watch it, that's on you. Really, you
Well, that's
you have.
the problem. I think we've talked about. Even Doomcox mentioned it before. Back
Yes,
I
he had.
was when I was new. All that, uh, like for more, and I was like, I gotta practice. I gotta practice what he teaches. So with a lot of that, I hung it up. I was like, you know what, it's good for everybody to at least acknowledge that there is a big problem now. It's time for independent creators to step in, and they're not. What is happening though, it's a little one-off though. It's the independent creators are coming in, but they're talking about the same stuff, and that's how they're making their content. So they're not making new content, but they're making content talking about the stuff that's being taken apart. So you get more of the same echo chamber stuff, new comics, new creators, new interviews with new people, trying to find like ways to kind of support some of these projects through either Indiegogo or through Patreon. And you do hear some of it. But you don't hear a lot. Everyone's too fixated on, whether Kathleen Kennedy is going to get the guillotine, or who's the next woman to jump into Feige's couch for the woke crown of super wokeness. So it's almost like watching an episode of like Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood or any of that stuff at the YouTube level. And what happens if you keep listening to all that stuff, you become your own echo chamber. So, I mean, what I've personally been doing is I've been kind of, so Telegram of all things actually is filling that space for me. So I'm getting a lot of my stuff from Telegram. When this whole thing blew up in the Middle East, I mean, a lot of the footage I was finding was off of Telegram. So I just found it very interesting that, stuff like Telegram is literally filling the space for some of these news outlets for me personally. So like when I hear people bringing this stuff up, for me, it's probably like 3, 4, 5 days into it. And it's like, you're just now finding out about, you know, A, B, and C. It's like, I've known about that for days now. And then I realized, you know, well, not, you know, with alternative media sources, when you have franchises that don't necessarily cater to your type of entertainment anymore. So, and, you know, it's cool, whatever, do your own thing. For me,
Well,
it's more of pick up the DVDs and Blu-rays that you do, because, well, actually, when we were all in this room, I think it was about maybe two or three streams ago, I think, when we talked. Yeah, it was on the birthday stream. I meant to make one specific point with Discovery, more or less being in charge, and taking a back seat. You know, everyone is pushing us, and it's very apparent that at one point they want to go ahead and start phasing out physical media. This is why they're pushing for streaming so badly.
Slow down, Trooper.
And if it
Slow
hasn't,
down. I want to make sure everybody's hearing you clearly because you were roboting a lot on my end. Leia, could you hear him clearly?
he was roboting on my end too. I thought it was just me, but he was going in and out a lot.
Because
yeah,
usually when you guys do robot, it's mostly on my end. Like when especially when I do the play by play sometimes. You guys come in clear, and I'm like, okay, so it's usually it's basically just on my end. So I was like typing in the chat to see if anybody can hear you and hear you clearly, and see if you're roboting, because I could barely make out what you were saying.
Yeah, at first I thought it was me at first, but I said, "Oh, I can't hear
I
Trooper."
also have like,
Trooper, I'm not hearing you.
yeah, I have multiple windows. I have multiple windows, and the problem is where I'm at here in Vegas. It's literally one provider. It's Cox Cable, and it's terrible. So,
I believe you.
if
Yeah.
Cox is throttling the speed, yeah, then that's
The struggle is real,
what it is for
everybody.
the day. So, and that's literally happening with these internet providers. Also, you're going to see a lot of that too. Now that we're getting into 5G, in terms of the mobile networks, you're also going to see internet providers try to be more competitive with mobile, and I don't know why that is. And I guess it has to do with you're able to get content at your fingertips with the cell phone now. You almost don't even need like a desktop. If you like, for stuff like this, you can do it off your cell phone. I mean, that was unheard of, 2 decades ago or a decade ago. But what I was getting at before I started cutting in and out was, with the consolidation of these media companies, they're going to phase out physical media. So,
yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to push for a more
regardless of what your
digital
opinion
age.
is, regardless of what your opinion is, in terms of all this stuff that one considers classics or stuff like that, best thing you can do is just buy it when you come across it. It's going to be the best thing, because sooner or later, the other thing that they'll do is they'll start buying up distribution. I mean, in terms of they'll release like The Little Mermaid, when they did this last release, it was like an anniversary release or whatever it was. It's always some form of triple platinum diamond edition with all of these new features you never had. Blah, 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 blah. I get it while it's out there. Limited.
You want me to back you out and put you back
You're
in?
going to see a lot of that from these other people.
Because you're roboting like heavy, man.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Like heavy, dude. Let me drop you out and drop it back in. Let me see how I would do this. Nope. Okay, I'll just do it this way. Then you just pop back in. Get ready, dude. All right. 3, 2, 1. Bam. Up. Okay.
How about now?
Try it again. Go ahead and speak, Trooper.
What about now?
Much better.
Much
Yeah.
better. Yes, you sound much better.
Yeah, I probably have running in the background also.
Let us
But yeah,
continue.
so I mean, it really comes down to just buy physical media, because as they consolidate, it's all going to be behind a paywall. It's very apparent now with Warner, uh, more or less not being in control now that Discovery has been put in control. AT&T is going to take a back seat. AT&T tried to play nice with Warner. Warner wanted it their way, so they got what they wanted for the short term. But now that they brought in
Cause
Discovery is going
I
to be
want it that way. Tell me
well. And here's the
why
thing.
ain't
Here's the
nothing
thing.
but
Like, I mean, you saw a lot of that. You saw a lot of that with this whole Simps for Snyder stuff. Like, Snyder got his film made, and that's all he wanted. He wanted to get paid, so he got paid. It's like at the
now
very
you
end of the
got a
day, it was
zombie
the
movie
fans.
already out.
It, yeah, it was the fans that more or less were the catalyst for it. What did they get in return? They didn't get anything out of it. If anything,
Mm-mm.
the Snyder EU for DC is dead. Jar Jar is coming in now. He's going to redo it. So again, my argument is
He's coming
what
in and he's gonna change the face of Hollywood because it's so fucking white. Fuck you if you think you have a problem with a sea of white people,
here's the
you
thing.
white person speaking on the behalf of other people of different races and all that stuff. Get the fuck out of here out of my damn office with that bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
What
sorry.
what
Rant
has
over.
all the whining? What has all the whining and ranting from all these, fringe fan groups actually done? It hasn't done anything. If anything, it
Mm-hmm.
hasn't moved the needle one way or the other. If anything, it's made these IPs actually, uh, you know, uh, it's made these IPs, you know, double down even more. It's what
Yeah.
it's done. So, like I said, once once we've gone full streaming, and once they've managed to hold on to the distribution rights, that's pretty much it. It's behind a paywall. You want Disney, you pay your $14.99 a month. You want Universal, you pay your $14.99 a month. See where it's going? So
Mm-hmm.
and people keep asking, well, why, this whole thing with the theaters, why aren't they putting out the movies in the theaters now? Why are they holding on to these films? It's because they want these theaters to go out. They don't have any need, or they don't have any long-term plans to revive theaters. They don't. So theaters need to figure out how they're going to do it, whether they choose to fend for themselves by showing cult film classics or call it a year. We just saw this whole acquisition of Amazon, of MGM. So now Amazon has 007. Guess where that's going to go? That's going to go to Amazon Prime.
Yep.
So I mean, it's very apparent. It's in the tea leaves, and anyone that's still left out in the cold, wanting their IPs to change, quote, for the better. I mean, I hate to say it, you better take the bitter pill, because they're not rolling back anything. If anything, they're speeding up the process.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, like I said before, I mean, they found a formula that works: the $1 billion movie with no content.
Again, back to what I was preaching to you guys last year. Now will be a good time to start creating your own material. This is at this point, you ask not what these fuckers can do for you. What you're gonna do right by other people that are like minded like you are is now in your hands. Using Melissa as an example, you love your son so much, you can write books about how much you love your son in children's books. Wholesome entertainment is still a thing to many a conservative, anybody who's family oriented. You, Melissa Harris, I'm speaking about you right now. You can write a book about Jake. That's by no means not exploiting your son. You can even embellish all you want. You know, explain how much how, like I remember there was a book I read. I'm pretty sure and you guys probably remember. I'm sure Leia probably have heard this book, and it was titled "Mama, Do You Love Me?" And it's all about about a little girl, and mind you, this is an Inuit. It's an Inuit family. It's all about a daughter asking how much a mother loves her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
as I'm saying, like that was like a very you know popular book for its time. You know what I'm saying? Even it was even on Reading Rainbow at one point. And like I said, like you can the sky's the limit on how you create. It's really it also boils down to you knowing your audience as well. But at the end of the day, it's never you know you got time enough to really talk about how bad things are going, but you also got time enough to really provide an alternative for those who leave that market and find that alternative through you. So I've been encouraging that last year. I'm going to encourage that this year. Those of you who are self-proclaimed writers, start writing. Those of you who are into the media and filming side of things, start getting a camera, start making some home movies. Home movies are still a thing. Your home movie can be a popular thing on YouTube. If you're not, even if you're not looking to profit off of it,
Yeah.
start creating
Yeah.
something. Like you don't have to be profitable. You don't even have to make it a market. Just do
use stuff
something.
like
Provide that alternative. Go ahead, Trooper.
and use stuff.
Did we lose him?
Seconds before, like,
Hang on, Trooper. Hang on.
if you
Let,
can't
let
find
me
it,
get a
you
head
find it
count.
you.
You're still in. Leia, are you still here with us?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, just making sure. Continue, Trooper.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can't find you, buy it used. A lot of this stuff is gonna have to be used.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using eBay. Secondspin.com, like I said before, used to be the way I used to be able to get my hands on some audio releases.
On that same token, people are buying old school consoles too. I've got a 64.
I got my hands on. Actually,
I still use DVD players.
Mm-hmm.
I just bought me a new one the other day.
Yeah.
I agree with Trooper that I am stacking up on physical media because I think eventually it's going to be phased out. So as you said, so I just bought me and I
You're
think
gonna
I have
have
to
to,
buy a
yeah.
new one because I don't think they're going to. I don't think the days are gone where you could take it to the shop and have them repair your DVD or your Blu-ray. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I better get me I said I'm gonna get me like a brand new one, just a brand new one or something.
Get double
Yeah.
if need be.
Mm-hmm.
That's going away. Yeah, that's going away. Yeah.
And then I've been like you, I've been second up physical media, just buying DVDs and Blu-rays of films that I really love.
I've
One,
gotten
as you said, to
lucky. I've
enjoy
gotten
them.
Hang on, Trooper. You're lagging.
I still use my PS4 version, my alleged bootleg version
I think he's lagging.
of WandaVision. Just because I need a top load, not a slide in.
Yeah,
As
I
far
think
as
you're
like
lagging, dude, because you cut right into Leia's
carriage.
He's still going.
I might be.
Oh no, Trooper, it's not your day, man.
It's just today's been terrible with internet.
Trooper,
So.
I
hang
understand.
on.
I've been there.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm lagging or not, but like. Oh man, there you
Oh,
go.
Trooper, I feel for you. I trust me. You know the problems I was going through, so I know exactly how you feel until I had to get things fixed up.
This is not the day. I'm not the one. YouTube. I'm not the one. StreamYard. You know better than this. You drunk. Go home. Can you,
Well, maybe
who wants to go first?
it's probably StreamYard because Fan Man was doing his podcast today and he was having all sorts of problems.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's StreamYard maybe it's them that's the problem there.
Could be summer woes. Summer's coming up.
Summer Rose, does that affect the equipment?
It
Or I don't
could.
know
It
about this
could.
world.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know this world very well. So when things get wonky, I have to ask people what in the world is going on. It's in the air or what's the neutrons. I don't know how these things work, but it just
mhm.
may be something in the air today, Trooper.
Uh,
well,
it could be, but like I said, it could be any number of things. I know on my end, Cox Cable has been doing a lot of throttling for like the last week.
Mhm. Um, eh, you guys want to get into a little bit of the comments real quick?
I just want to say
Yeah,
one
yeah,
quick
that's
about
fine.
I want to say one quick about the Powder Puff Girls. This is very quickly.
The
I
Powerpuff
thought the
Girls.
yeah, I thought the idea of a live action, what they had, the concept was absolutely stupid. I thought the
Hmm.
casting was stupid. I thought the race swapping of the professor. I was aware of the show. I didn't watch it a whole lot because I was grown by the time that
Hmm.
that show aired. So I didn't watch a lot, but I heard of it. I thought it was cute for what
Yeah.
it was. But what they're doing now is
Mhm.
stupid, lazy, horrible. And I am shocked the CW grew a brain and decided to pull that god disastrously pilot that they were going to air when they leaked the script. I do believe that script is fact. I think they were going to put that trash on TV, and I think they did the smart
Yeah.
thing. Now they're pulling it until they can tweak it, but I still don't think it'd be better because I just think the whole idea sucks. I just think that the actresses they chose, the Powerpuff Girls are little girls. They're not grown women. They're little
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know one of them
Yeah.
is wokeified because she's supposed to be the butch lesbian of the group. So I'm kind of glad that they did what they did because nobody was going to watch that trash. That is CW is they're starting to fall because
I've
they
seen Buttercup.
yeah.
So
Well, this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. If you're looking for my opinion on something that's been talked about by several other people, you're not going to get it. So there's other streams for that. There's other creators for that. Get their take on that. It's
I
probably going to
will
be, guess
say
what, an echo
this.
chamber.
Mhm.
I
Like
will say this.
for me, it's like
I'm
we already know
surprised
what
they didn't make
CW
Blossom
does.
black.
Like
I really am. I'm really surprised that they didn't make
I'm
Blossom.
not. I'm not because you got to remember. You got to remember the POC has to be the oppressed minority. So if you make Blossom black, what does she have to be oppressed about? Now if she's Buttercup, then she can be butthurt that she's not leading and her opinion is better and she's definitely on another level and the other two just don't get her. It's the same stuff, man. You see it all the freaking time. It's a broken record. And like I said, my opinion on that is if you want to hear it, there's other videos on YouTube where you can hear that stuff and you can hear them rant
Yeah.
for minutes and minutes and minutes. And that's how they're making their content. That's how they're getting their thumbs up. I don't see that being constructive. I really don't. I think I've said it before that in terms of art, there isn't any art. I would like to believe it's all postmodernism, but when it comes, when it comes down to the very end of it, it's about money.
Hmm.
So it really is.
Yeah.
So if they can make it for less, they're going to do that. But I don't know. I didn't really have a topic. The only thing that was going with this whole Middle East thing, someone actually referred me to a book that's called "Against Our Better Judgment" by Alison Weir. So I was going to check that out. I know
Okay.
I was going to talk about that earlier, but we kind of went into the weeds with my
No, talk about that.
bad internet.
You, I mean,
Um,
you're coming in clear. You
my
might
only
as well get
opinion
out
on
the way
it.
before it
My
start
only
acting weird
opinion on
again.
this. Right. I was going to say my only opinion on that stuff going on out there is this: it's like we're paying money to both sides, so we're literally paying to watch this on television, if you will, or on stream or whatever monitor you're on. So, we had the previous administration to the one prior go ahead and give pallets of cash to Iran, who happens to fund, guess what, the group that was launching missiles. And we also tend to send a lot of foreign aid to Israel. So, I mean, again, we're funding all of it. Like, we send foreign aid to Egypt
Mhm.
so that, Egypt doesn't blow up Israel. We send foreign aid to Jordan so that Jordan doesn't blow up Israel. So this we're literally paying for a whole entire like little usurper nation to be there. So, that's what I was really getting at. And this book kind of talks about a little bit of it in terms of kind of the gears behind a lot of these agreements. And you also kind of have to know the world history behind what's going on to kind of get a better picture.
Hmm.
Like you don't have to be either this and or that. And that's kind of it kind of applies to pop culture too. Like, if you're not for Israel, then you must be for Palestine. No, there is a position where you can be for neither. So, and it's the same thing. Oh, well, if you're for Disney, then you're not for the fans, true fans, if you will. It's like, no, it's like you can be for neither. It's like, look, Disney's going to do its thing. Discovery, who will now be over Warner, will do its thing. Universal's going to do its thing. Just because they don't churn out content you don't like and that I don't like doesn't mean that we have to sit here and be miserable about it. I guess that's my point, is there's other ways to enjoy yourself
Mhm.
being miserable. I think I've said it before. It's like, oh, I keep saying go outside, but it's really funny. It's like, it really does mean that you have to kind
Yeah.
of keep an eye on world events versus pop culture. I mean, pop culture is nice in terms of escapism, but I mean, at one point, you kind of have to, you kind of have to get back in the game and start, making a few phone calls. Speaking of garden, like I posted a picture on MeWe. Like, you can see two of my potatoes growing in a shopping bag. It's the funniest thing. So
Yeah, I have to check that out. Definitely. Definitely have to check that out.
yeah, it was the that those potatoes came off of table scraps. Like, I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be good to me. Where you're gonna see two potatoes growing in a red bag. It's hilarious, but potatoes grow in almost anything. If you know what you're doing and you can keep the soil aerated, they grow in almost anything. It's fantastic.
I seen people.
I didn't
I
really
seen
have
people
a
being.
topic.
One thing that shocked me was that I saw people were very interested in buying vinyl at Target.
That's weird. That's very weird to me
Who
because
still has a
okay,
turntable
like when
today?
my friend who almost turned me into a hood ornament does.
Ah,
She's got she's
there's a
got
Guardians of the
what is
Galaxy
it?
soundtrack on vinyl.
Star Trek the motion picture. She's got that on vinyl. What they went with the whole retro thing. They
Hmm.
put out a vinyl. And that's something I was going to mention when we were talking about our phase 4, phase 5 thing.
Hmm.
I had an idea yesterday. If I'm this like mega movie exec, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tear down all my sets right away. What I'm going to do is, while this film is being was done back in like the 90s,
Hmm.
where you have a roster of performing artists. Let's say I got a yes from all the people that I wanted. Okay, let's say they were like, yeah, you know what, I want to be in your film because the the Wolf 10 universe is so amazing. So, okay, cool, whatever. So what you do is you kind of shoot like music videos are almost like little mini trailers. So
Hmm.
the one thing I haven't really seen, and for better or worse, it's because now we have social media or whatever. But here's the thing: you can release a music video on YouTube. It's not a big deal.
Nope.
Use those sets in your music videos. Like, it's like if you have, like, say, well, for my Angela film, how I posted this video of Jennifer Connelly to Space Age Love Song by the Flock of Seagulls.
Mm.
But and I also posted a little vid. I don't know. I was kind of like in the midst of transit, but I I posted Take a Ride from Heavy Metal, and I didn't realize that's what I was doing when I was watching this stuff. I was like, I I guess I'm wanting to make a heavy metal film out
Okay.
of my Angela film. I'm like, okay. I was like, that's very different. I didn't know where it was coming from, and I was watching a few
Live
videos,
action
and I'm like,
heavy
oh, I know
metal.
where this is. Yeah, I was like, okay, so that's where my influence is coming from. I get it now. I get it now. Now that I understand it. But yeah, so let's say you get a band. I don't know what's a cool popular band now. It would have to be one of these boomer bands. Like I consider Rammstein a boomer band now at this point, because it's like you say Rammstein and you're like, who's that? So okay, but let's say I get a K-pop group, right? For whatever, not that I like K-pop, I can't stand it.
I hear a lot of people. I see a lot of
What you
people bringing up.
do,
Hang on, Trooper. I see a lot of people bringing up some Berserk comments. Yeah. Speaking of which, Green Boss. Yeah, Berserk. Bruh. Wait until you get to Lost Children and Conviction. It gets way more intense. Golden Age. It's got some intense moments, but like after Eclipse, oh my goodness, you're in for a roller coaster of crazy stuff. I know Samuel Oleki had brought up Berserk too. If he's still in the chat.
but yeah, so you basically take a band, you dress them up as characters, put them in the makeup or whatnot, make the video using the actual movie set. So let's say I have a set of the Milano, you know, the forward compartment of the Milano, right? For whatever reason, the Milano's in my Angela film. Maybe the Guardians make a quick cameo or whatnot. And it could just be like, that's the beauty of having characters like Rocket or Groot, because they're CGI. You can bring them in at any time. Like, do you need to bring in a voice actor? Maybe.
Bradley Cooper.
We'll give them maybe like a non-voice. Yeah. Maybe do a non-voice.
There's no way to do Rocket
flyby
without
or whatever.
Bradley Cooper. No way. Bradley Cooper made his own. Like everybody is I'm pretty sure that you know Rocket has appeared in many other media, but like everybody loves Bradley Cooper as the role of Rocket Raccoon.
Well, I'll tell you, like Groot got a run of his own comic right after Guardians of the Galaxy. I have the full thing, the full run. It's fun. I mean, I liked Groot in that comic a lot. I really did.
Groot.
Well, you know, it's mostly like the story being told through other characters, because I mean he only has one line, so
they made him they made him Gordon Freeman the story. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Like whenever time you have a silent protagonist or a protagonist that everybody talks to, it's basically Gordon Freeman from Half-Life. Basically, everybody just voicing what the characters probably say.
Well, and you know where I got my inspiration, right?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
Do you remember? What is it, Batman and Robin? I know you do. So that's where I got my inspiration. I know you remember Batman and Robin, because that's where I got my inspiration, on that rooftop, you know, on that movie set when they did Kiss from a Rose. You know how how with U2 it was more of an animated music video,
right?
Yeah, why not bring stuff like that, you know, into projects like that? You know, as opposed to releasing trailers, freaking release the music videos. I mean, build up to these trailers. Even make the mini trailers like the thing to build up
Thunder
to.
with it too.
Yeah. Like build up to these trailers, and then once you get to the trailer, you're like, oh my gosh, dude, I've been waiting for a year for that trailer. You know, that kind of stuff. So you really, you know, you build up the hype that way. But it's like with the streaming model that they have now, where, you know, you release all content. Netflix was doing that for a while. When they were releasing House of Cards, they would release the entire season. You could binge right through it in 2 nights. I want to say Disney got a little better at it, because they figured, okay, well, once they binge it, they're not going to stay. They're going to drop subs. So they got a little better at it. With Mandalorian, they were dropping these episodes like, you know, every week on a Wednesday or whatnot. So it was more episodic.
Hey, Matthew.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, you know, truth be told, I mean, unless you have the capital, to make this type of content, it's like you gotta you start small. You start with a comic book, see, try to break even or whatnot. Like, I mean, my buddy who did a comic, he did an indie comic. Like, he broke even. He barely broke even, but that's how it goes. I mean, sometimes it takes off, or sometimes you break even, or sometimes you lose money and you move on to the next project. They're not always going to be all
Um,
wins.
so let's move on to some other things real quick. Leia's back. Leia,
Yes.
we were still on the streaming, the physical. We brought the situation with Israel, I think, right?
Yes, that's what you were talking about before I left. So is today's
Uh,
stream is it a free for all, or do you have something specific? I
Yeah,
know
it's
yeah,
about
it's
it's
just a fun
it's basically
stream.
free
Yeah,
for
it's just
all.
hanging out with.
I'm
okay.
trying to encourage. Here's the thing, guys. I'm trying to encourage everybody to be idea people too. Be idea like if you got an idea, bring it up. Bring up as a topic of discussion. I can
Right, right.
like I'm hearing so far a few berserk conversations. I can talk about berserk all day, like especially considering that we lost it's sad that we lost Miura so far in the beginning of this month. Like this is I'm talking about
I heard that.
I'm talking
I
about
heard
from
about
the
that.
very beginning. We lost him, and of course, like that's how you supposed. That's basically how you're supposed to do it. You don't just announce it the day of, right? So so
Oh,
this is
by
where
the way,
this is where I have to really say you know I'm just saying right now like people can accuse me, and I'll be proud. I'll wear it like armor. Like, yeah,
right?
I suck the dick of Japan because Japan actually knows.
Wow,
Excuse me. Anyways,
wow.
excuse me. But you know, I probably admit that because Japan is actually normal compared to weird prima donna America. And I
Oh
made this
yes.
analogy. I made this analogy to my friend once. This was years ago. This was like 5, 6 years, 7 years back. And he asked me, "What do you think the state of America is?" And back then, I was very cynical about America at that point. That's why I freely admit that I could have been one of these SJ hobos at some point. I freely admit that. But I told him, I'm like, because we were talking about every country's and their plight way back then, right? And I said this about America. I was like, America is that prima donna that is just there for attention, and the moment we stop getting attention, it's more than likely going to kill itself. And that's I hate to say that as to sound very cynical, because I still got hope for our country. I always will have hope for our country, but that's basically what we are. That's where America is at right now, pretty much. But yeah, that was one of the conversations we had. But like, yes, but going back to Japan, it's like Japan got their shit together, even though they have suicide rates too on their own. But that's a more of a cultural thing centered around those suicides and what they're developing over there in their country, which is the digital age of everything. Now, here's the thing about Japan though. Japan has this lasting thing about certain things, like manga is still a thing. Even though we still got anime and digital and stuff like that. Oh,
Well,
Greenball
oh,
says Japan is weird, but they handle Miura's death very their handled Miura's death was very that's how again, that is how you're supposed to do somebody's passing. You do not announce it like if you look at Twitter or any news media, right? You
Mm,
you hear the such and such died, and it was just the day that they died.
hmm
They don't do that over in Japan. They wait for a while, let the family grieve. They let the proceedings go on as planned. Especially if it's a high profile person, you wait for a while, and then you announce their passing. It's a. Here's another thing. Here's another thing. That is a practice as old as time, and I'm gleaming this from of all people, George R. R. Martin, who um who from what I'm seeing from his writing, he's a very learned person. He learned his history, right?
Mhm.
So that's how it was back in the days, even in medieval times. Like you don't just announce it out of the blue. You wait for a while, and then you make that announcement. That's for nobles. That's for that goes for nobles, for family. Period. Even in China, China does their thing respectfully too. The person passed, they wait for a while, they get the proceeding, they have the family grief for the body right then and there, and
Right.
then they bury it, and of course they
Mhm.
announce that they have passed. It goes both ways. America is just too showy.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, it
We're
We
in
is.
are
reality
we are
TV,
getting
bro.
far we are gone
Yes.
far too showy.
We're
Cause
we're in,
even
we're into
because
keeping up with
back
the
then,
Kardashians, is what we
even
are.
back then, like Tupac's death, that was like what 2 weeks after he died.
Hmm.
We're like the Braxtons. Did you watch that
Hmm.
show? Oh, I
Yeah,
loved
my
it. I
mom,
loved
my
it. I
mom.
loved it.
I was never in for that reality show.
Oh my
Only
gosh,
reality
dude.
shows I ever
Wanda
watched
was
was
so bitter all the time, and I'm like, I could see why. I'm like, you ain't Tony,
look,
you
look.
ain't Tamar.
I ain't finna be watching some bitter broads talk about how much they love a person, and then sleep around that person, talking
Yeah,
about talk,
you ain't Keenan.
seeing their love of their life pick a fight with some random dude like a little child. I'm not. No,
Mm.
I'm done. It's
No.
because of that program why we got the black women we got today.
Oh,
Most of them, not all of them.
thank
Most of
you,
them.
thank you. That,
I
Most of them.
agree. I agree, Wolf. I was not a fan. My sister liked that show, but I was, and she tried to get me into it. But first of all, I am not a fan of reality TV. Period. This is not
right.
against anyone who enjoys it. I'm not judging you, but me myself, I never got into it. The
I never judged
Kardashians,
my mom.
all this,
There are times I
yeah.
asked her like, "Why do you watch this stuff?"
Oh yeah,
She's like,
it's
"No,
all
no." I asked my
scripted.
mom this. Hang on.
It's
I
all
asked my mom this.
scripted. Like the chick that does my hair.
I asked my
What?
mom this real quick. I asked my mom this. I said, "Mom,
Hmm.
why do you like this
Hmm.
stuff? All these women do, all these broads do is talk shit, talk about how good friends they are, talk more shit, fight, talk some shit,
That's
talk
right.
more shit,
That's right.
talk about
That's
their
right.
love of their lives. You see their love of their lives fighting and talk shit.
That's
What is
right.
appeal?" She's
Why
like,
you
"Oh, it's
hating?
real."
Why you hating?
Look. Her answer perplexed me. She said, "Because it's real.
Your
It's
mom
reality,
is a
right?
piece of
It's
work.
supposed to be real."
That's all
I'm
I
looking
gotta
like,
say. That's all I gotta say.
what'd you say?
I said your mom's a piece of work. It's
I
real. I'm
look,
like,
look,
yeah,
look,
it's real because they're in front
look.
of the camera, but that's about
Look,
it.
I'm sitting here. I hear you say that, and I'm like, bruh, I ain't gonna dispute that. I'm look, love my mom. I always love my mom, but I'm like, there are times I want to say, Mom, you need better taste in entertainment. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying my taste in entertainment is any better from what you've seen, from what
Mhm.
that's far beyond what you enjoy. But I'm just saying right now, I think I don't know. Maybe another Wire like show needs to come back because that's what she was on for the most part
Well, I
as far
think.
as entertainment is concerned. She
Well,
used to be on the Wire, like always on the Wire.
Leia, you gotta watch Kevin
well, I
Samuels
think
on
the
YouTube. His
reason.
Go
videos.
ahead, Leia.
I think the
Oh my god.
reason streaming started to grow so strongly was because the networks were focusing on reality television, and everything had to, shows like The Wire or other dramatic shows with storytelling and
So,
acting, which is what I like. I like storytelling through performances, not somebody's life on camera with that doesn't have any talent except the fact that they like to make drama on TV. And I think that's the reason streaming, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong about this, but I think one of the reasons streaming started to grow was because networks were focusing only on reality television. They're cheap, they're inexpensive, they're with people
well, yeah.
that have, they're nitwits out there that are craving for attention. So that is what that happened, and I think that's why that networks to me, and this could be a topic in the future, but that's why I think networks have no answer for streaming. Most of the most popular shows right now are either cable, basic cable, or streaming services. Network television, if you think about it, maybe I could be wrong, let me know. But I'm looking down my list.
Mm.
I said, I hardly look at network television anymore. I really have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last
yeah.
basic cable show I watched was Walking Dead.
100%.
So I
100%.
hardly watch anything on the. I'm like, oh my God, what's the last network show? ABC, NBC. I had to ask somebody, are there still three networks? Because I haven't watched anything in three or four networks. I haven't watched anything because they have nothing to offer. I think they stopped learning how to
It,
be entertaining.
it's a monolith. Yep. It's an entertainment monolith. And you bring up a very good point. Because, yeah, there is a time pushing this point to get it into the head of people. We're moving towards streaming. Cable is dying. Like, unless
Mm-hmm.
Hallmark can come up with, like, say, Hallmark.com, where they do all their, like, feel good content. Because my aunt's all about the freaking Hallmark channel. I mean, I could tell you the story of every Hallmark film. Like, girl comes into town, boy falls for girl, they flirt, something, something happens, girl finds something about boy, now she feels betrayed, and then they get back together at the end of the film, the end.
Mhm.
So they
Yes.
all literally follow that model. But yeah,
The reason
like
why
that's where we're
this is the reason
going.
why
I
I
mean,
gravitated to
like I'm
Crazy
gonna I'm
Rich
gonna
Asians
throw it out
because
there.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But the reason why one of the reasons
Mm.
why I liked about that movie was the fact that you do get something similar to that, but it was under a different a whole different circumstance other than boyfriend lies about certain thing and then they break up. More so, I would say it's a kind of a misconception about Asian culture though, but like it was something Asian related, Chinese related. I'm pretty sure you guys seen the movie, so y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I have seen the film. I
Uh,
didn't love it as much as everybody did. I did see the film. I thought the film was beautiful to look at. I loved
have
how
you?
they used
Oh,
the
that wedding
Asian
scene.
culture.
That wedding
Yeah,
scene. Oh my
y-
goodness.
yes, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The wedding scene was gorgeous to look at, and I like the fact that they put Asia
Trooper, stop
on
yawning.
screen.
Well, yeah. I
Trooper,
mean,
stop yawning.
it's all about optics.
Stop yawning, Trooper. I hear you. I can
But
hear you. You all, "Ooh," as she's playing the wedding. As you go into detail about the wedding, Leia,
Mm.
he's like,
I,
"Ooh." No, I'm kidding.
I'm
I didn't mean to
having
put you to
a
sleep.
I I'm having a birthday cake bash
Well, I
in honor of the birthday stream. I forgot I had it. It was in the fridge. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have it right now.
Hmm.
So
But
well, good for
let me
you.
before you continue, Leia, let me address Neil Star because this is
Go right
tradition.
ahead. Yes, and you can sing a song too.
Hmm. The brilliant star that shines through the night, the iron wall that wards off evil. Rise, our man stands before you.
hmm.
Rise, our man. Rise, our man. Kai T K K Kao. Rise, our man. Rise, our man. Shingon Fu He Kick Hu Pow. All right, there you go. I sung the song this time.
Welcome,
Neil.
welcome, Neil Star. Well, I was just going to say that the movie was beautiful to look at. It was. All of it was lovely to
It
look
was.
at. Yeah, it was gorgeous to look at. I loved the wardrobe, attractive cast. Everybody was great. I didn't think it was that great. I saw it once. I haven't seen it again. I don't think it was that good as far as romantic comedies. I've seen other romantic comedies that, for me, that I really deem are
Yeah.
like classics in their genre that
I
I would go
think
like go back. But
Henry Golding is also doing an action movie again. He was already doing some action movies here and there, but I think
hmm
he's in a new action movie. I don't know what it is. Um, the director of Crazy Rich Asians is doing In the Heights. Have any of you guys heard of In the Heights?
I saw
Isn't
the
that a
tra-
play?
It's supposed to be a movie, isn't it? I saw a trailer for it the
It's
other
a movie,
day.
but I was wondering if it was also a play because we all know that we're getting a Steven Spielberg's West Side
West,
Story, right?
yeah, West Side Story
And
remake.
we already
Why
had that.
wouldn't?
Yeah. Well, again, I'm not gonna watch it, but it seems like it looks like Steven Spielberg is gonna handle this with care. specifically. It looks like the traditional old school uh
The old
original.
school, the only difference is he made sure that the Latinos were Latino actors. So Maria and all the everybody that's Latino
Which
will be
I'm okay with.
Latino.
I'm going
Yeah,
to be okay with. I'm going to be
yeah.
okay with. He's going for authenticity, not force
Mm.
authenticity on this
Mm-hmm.
one.
Okay.
So that's good to know.
Authenticity.
As far as me watching it, I'm not watching it. I'd rather stick to the original because I like the music in the original. I'm not saying that this one's gonna be horrible with the music, unlike Beauty and the Beast live
Oh
action
yeah. Blah. Yeah.
with Hermione tune.
Did you say auto tune or out of tune? Sheesh.
Both,
Good.
both
Auto
is
tune.
fine. Take your
Auto tune.
pick. Both is fine. But and oh my goodness, the favoritism of what's her face, Emma Watson around these parts nowadays, it's unwarranted. I don't think
Mhm.
I don't think that girl deserves the favoritism that, because I heard through Sideways, a YouTuber called Sideways who does music, takes reviews on musicals and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The director like said he had to get Emma Watson because he thought she was gonna make or break the movie. And I'm like, that girl does not need that much favoritism. What's so freaking there? That's like somebody saying freaking Megan Fox was right for Joan of Arc. Like you had to get Megan Fox to play Joan of Arc, a historical figure played by brunette with Botox lips. Okay,
And not a
okay,
good actress. Sorry, not a
not a
good
good actress.
actress. Mm-mm.
Didn't like her in Jonah Hex. And guess who she was in Jonah Hex? And it was a and from what I heard, it was a poorly adapted adaptation of a character. So she's supposed to be
Mm.
this badass gun toting chick in the comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They they rewrote her as a prostitute, whereas she was a scarred victim of rape in the comics. And she goes around helping Jonah Hex when need be. I forgot her name, but I was like, whoa, low blow, guys. That's not cool. You made a in story rape victim into a prostitute. Wow.
Oh,
Look,
maybe one of the
we
reasons.
can we can go we can go on and on and on to a blue in the face about what the SJWs do to our characters, but let's just say this: I'm not going to ignore some of the BS that we did back then too. Like, and what I mean by we, I'm talking about us normal common folk. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to
Oh,
ignore the BS that we did back then either. You know, we need to be taken to task about that bullshit too. Is what I'm saying. Not saying that I'm trying to turn male feminist here or anything. You never gonna get that from me. Screw that. Screw them simps. Yeah, no,
Um,
nah, nah,
no.
well,
not for me.
well, well. I see what the studio thought with Emma Watson. They thought that I know why. Just the same way they have Robert Patterson as Batman. They thought they could get the Harry Potter crowd to come see their film. That's basically why they put her in there. They said, well, if we put Hermione in this Disney live action movie, people come to see it. And don't get me started on how bad that woman was. The animated Beauty and the Beast is hands down one of my favorite Disney animated feature films. I love it. I just think it's a masterpiece. I don't care. I like Disney princesses and screw anybody else that says that I can't because I do. So, but I thought the animated movie was so beautiful and just one of the best Disney had ever done. And here you and Belle's this great character of Belle, and you get this can't sing, pretty much not a very good actress. She's not. She did not develop into a good actress. She is not. Some actors, when they're child actors, they grow up and they become
I
very
saw
good
how she
actors.
interacted with
Uh,
the
she's.
kids, and that was how I was beginning to see where Disney was going with their new platform or their new
Well,
direction with female characters.
yeah.
They have these also good natured, also you know, well spoken, well written, well educated basically Mary Sue type characters, just going to
That's
little
just
girls and little kids saying you're gonna be the best the bestest that you could ever be. I'm like, how you know that? How you know that maybe your village is not gonna get raided by by a bunch of brigands? This child is probably gonna get captured and be used as a sex slave, potentially. How you know that this person's not gonna be not gonna one day break their leg and be a cripple for life, despite their idea of joining whatever counts as French military back then for being in Beast time. Like, I'm like you, I'm like, excuse you, these girls, like you just telling them that they're gonna be the greatest, but are you teaching them anything? Are you teaching these girls how to read? Are you teaching these boys how to read? None of that.
well,
No.
not the boys, only the girls. But see, well, they didn't need to do that. Belle was a well-developed character as she was. They, like you said, it was the beginning of their wokeifying of the Disney princesses because, well, we can't have any of that. We have to make them stunning and brave and best as ever. So we have to wokeify it. But with Belle, they didn't need to do that. She was already her own woman herself. She because I could relate to her. She loved to read books. She loved to go to the library to read the books. She didn't fall for Gaston's charms, despite him being handsome. She saw right through him.
Here's
And
another thing.
she the point of that film, and then I'll let you talk. The point of that
Go ahead.
movie, the whole message of that film is loving, seeing the person for who they really are, not for what you see before you, but seeing beyond beyond. I've got to put it like that, but beyond the physical, particularly with the beast. She was able to see that there was a human down there, and that was her strength. That is the point of the movie. Not about I'm stunning and brave, and I'm going to teach this whole village how to read because I'm stunning and brave.
I got a
And
magic
then
book that takes me anywhere, but I'm not gonna use it because I need
yeah,
to dramatically ride my horse to save my daddy.
and come down to the ballroom scene in the ugliest godforsaken dress that I possibly could get because I don't want to put emphasis on my looks. So I'll wear what looks like a Target costume looking dress when they could have put on not an appropriate ball gown or do her hair or nothing because, I don't want to look good for men kind of thing. Like you said, so they missed the point of that whole film when they made it. And then when I saw pieces of it, I knew I was going to see it because everybody asked me, "Oh, you love Beauty and the Beast? Aren't you going to go see it?" I said, "No,
Nope.
that's not Beauty and the Beast. That's not Belle." And when I saw Belle, I could relate to her because seeing Belle was like the story of my life. Because when I was young, I'd loved to read books and I loved sci-fi and fantasy
And
stories, and I would
let me
tell
chime in
people.
real quick.
Hmm.
One thing that that really put me off on watching it, especially the clip from what Sideways had point out, and this is a clip. Um, when I bring up bring up that thing she said to the kids, right?
Right.
It really betrays the lyrics, like the way how they're supposed to the visuals are supposed to basically
How they
talk.
see her.
They're basically talking shit behind her back, but still but again, it's like it betrays the lyrics because she's actually interacting with a lot of characters on screen and they're talking shit behind her. I'm like, no, she's supposed to be in a way she's supposed to be a cloud cuckoo lander. Her head's in the books, right?
Yeah, she doesn't
So
fit
it
into
doesn't
the world around her.
it does well. Here's the thing: it wouldn't matter to her, or at least it shouldn't. She shouldn't be interacting with these people, and that's basically supposed to be leaving her open to scrutiny because she won't
Mhm.
interact with them. All she interacts with is a book, right?
Mhm.
Right, right. I agree. Yeah,
So
she.
like I said, how would you continue that song the way it is if she's always interacting with everybody else? And she doesn't even there's hardly ever a moment where she does have a book. She's just walking around with her hands flipping all over the side like as Hermione do Hermione on Hermione. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But go ahead, Leia.
I agree with you 100%. Belle is the girl who didn't fit in. She doesn't fit into the world around her. Like you said, you have to listen to the lyrics, and I can't think of the top of my head, but I know they tell her head is always in the clouds, and
Hmm.
so she's a funny girl, that Belle, you know. she's so strange, no question, just like the way she's
Mhm.
walking at the beginning of the animated film. They said, look, look, there she goes. That girl is strange, no question. She doesn't fit in. So I agree with you. The scene defeats the Disney did not listen to. That's true. They weren't paying attention. They did not listen to that song when it was written. And we know
Mhm.
Howard Ashman and Alan Menken wrote that song. The way it described it is describing her and how the people see her, and they see her as basically a weirdo. She doesn't fit
Mhm.
in. All you see her do is all she sits to herself, and she says herself to her father, I don't fit in here. There's nobody I can really talk to. I don't have anybody to fit into. And so you're right. If you see her interacting with children, everybody else, then they're not getting it. They're not getting it.
Now let me
You're
backtrack real
let's talk
quick.
about that.
There is a few scenes where she does interact with some people, but again she has her book. She basically she basically tells the I think the banker, it was the baker, right,
Mm-hmm.
that she's going to pick up a book. It's like, what do you need a book for? It's basically what he was asking. That's what Sarah's
Yeah.
part is like.
Yeah.
She's like the only woman out there that's reading. Not necessarily like it's supposed to be like a societal cultural expectation like that, right? But it's like what do you need to read for? Like why don't you just I interpret it like why don't you get a job or something, or help us out here? You're always your
Yeah.
head is always in the books and stuff. Like like you should be more productive, not necessarily like swooning at a gentleman, or switching her hips or anything like that. Like you should be out there helping your dad or something. For a kook that he is, you're supposed to be helping your dad, or make your dad rich by marrying rich or something like that. Some to that effect. It plays on to the original text of the original Beauty and the Beast, right?
Right.
For those who don't, for those who don't know of the original text, which is
Hmm.
the father before Beauty was Belle. Beauty was the
Oh
youngest
goodness.
daughter in a family of three. The father had
Hmm.
three daughters.
Mhm.
Um, the daughters were always self-absorbed. The first two eldest daughters were always self-absorbed. They were very all to themselves. That was like the grievous, the fact that they don't really care about their father all that much,
Right.
except for Beauty, which was her name. Beauty was the one that actually took care of her father. She appreciated everything he did. You know, um, so like when it came down to him going out to get them some things, get some presents, right? The
Mhm.
daughters asked for material things, like maybe a dress, maybe a music box, or some shoes. um Beauty, on the other hand, all I ask is for a rose. That's all I want, daddy. Thank you, daddy. Not kidding. But so that's in fact, that's the reason. That's basically the reason why he got in trouble with the beast in the first place, because
Right.
one he number one he trespassed. I love this little exchange between me and Owen had back then, when Owen mentioned that the beast had a redemption arc. Like, no, he did not. There was no look. I'm not saying what he did was bad, but technically he was well within his right to do what he did.
You talking about the
So
Beast
so
in
he,
the
yeah,
story?
both
Okay.
versions, both versions.
Hmm.
Um, so we all know how the story goes. The father gets locked up because he basically committed theft
Mhm.
in somebody's property. He went to the beasts in the original. He went into a garden. The rose was not really a magic centered around the beast's transformation. The garden was there, and since he was already going into the castle to weigh out the weather, which was happening. There was no magical furniture, by the way, in
Yeah, in
in
the
this
original
version.
context. Yeah.
Yeah, so he went there, rested himself at He already plucked the rolls, rested at the fireplace. The beast called him, said what are you doing here? You're number one, you're trespassing, and you're also committing theft. So I'm gonna throw you in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the daughters don't give a shit about the dad except for Beauty. Beauty went after him. I don't know how she made it there to the castle. My mind's lost on that one. But she basically begged the beast to take her instead in place of him because he's old and all that stuff. And of course, again, shows how much she cares about her daddy. A lot. Very much about her
Mm-hmm.
daddy. Um but I don't know where I was going with this, but
I have no idea.
no, 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 actually, yeah, the music. Going back to the music. Going right back to the music. It goes hand in hand with the original text because she does care about her dad in this version. Um, Maurice, as he's called, not the inventor or just the father in the original text, goes to basically just finds the rose, or at least he warms himself at the fireplace. But yeah, um, the music basically just sells the story itself. It tells its whole story, but at the same time reciting the original text. Because she brings up her dad in a few times of her musical scenes. Um, she drops everything for her dad.
True.
She puts her life on the line for her dad. But again, harkening back to me and Owen's conversation last year about the Beast, I said that's not a redemption arc. That's him having a hero's journey, his own little hero's journey, which is he's learning in the famous words of RJ from Force Age, his his he's learned prudence, temperance, I think it was, and somebody help me. What was the thing that he preached? I know somebody is an avid watcher of RJ here, but I was telling Owen because Owen thought he was a bad guy. I was like, no, he's not.
No, he wasn't.
He tech. I'm not saying I'm not. That's not me. Again, that's not me defending the man. I'm saying I'm going by what law dictates here. Maurice trespassed it. Greg, he did knock first. He did knock first. He did say hello. He was invited by the servants. But who owns the place? The beast. He was
Mm-hmm.
well within his rights. There, thank you, Brian. He says prudence, justice, temperance, and fortitude. So he learned all of those all in the same movie. Justice, he did kind of exact his justice here and there. Prudence, he learned that through Bale. Temperance, same thing with Bale. Fortitude, he was able to let Bale go despite what was at stake with his curse. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yes,
That's what
definitely.
that's where the fortitude comes in at.
I agree. The difference is, I think, is with I think with the first of all, in the original text you're referring to, Wolf, um, there is no Gaston, so that's the
Nope.
first thing we have to remember. Gaston was created by Disney, and
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. The Beast is not a villain. It is sort of a hero's journey. That's the way I took it at in his own way, because even in the Disney fairs, he doesn't murder Gaston when he could have
Mm-mm.
had, but he does it because he wanted to still keep that humanity that was still in him that he had to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And
Get
also,
out.
yeah, he could have killed him, but he didn't because he knew that would be the last breath of humanity that he had left in him.
Mm-hmm.
And also the fact what Disney should have did instead of remaking the animated film, they should have just remade it the original text and made
Mm-hmm.
it for itself, and probably would have had got a better actress and probably would have made a better picture than the live action version that they gave
That's
us.
why
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to get any of these live action Disney movies, it would be Pete's Dragon. That's the only thing I'll be getting. Maybe the Jungle Book live action too. Maybe. But as far as live action is concerned, I'd rather get Pete's Dragon because I actually love that movie despite me still liking the original. mostly because it had a nice theme about finding family after losing one, finding a new family after losing one's original family.
Are you talking
Now
about
I also,
the live action
mm-hmm,
remake, Pete's
mm-hmm,
Dragon? Oh,
mm-hmm.
okay.
So in that version, Pete lost his family in a tragic car accident, and he was
Hmm.
taken in by Elliot. And Elliot, though, should I spoil? I might as well spoil it.
I've
Probably
seen it.
most of you guys, we all know
It's
that
just
Elliot's not the. It was thought to,
mhm.
it was thought to, and it was believed that Elliot was the last of his kind. He wasn't. He wasn't. He was just lost. Like basically, what the movie was saying was Elliot was just as lost as he was,
I
as
got it.
Pete was. He lost from his family.
Hmm.
So they both in a way they basically found their own family in the end, and I like that idea. Granted, it could we probably didn't need Carl Urban to be the villain, or at least a misguided character. We probably didn't need that. The movie probably would have survived on its own. It probably would have been most of these movies could survive on their own without a villain, but
Right.
sometimes they tend to put it at the last minute. And he's only a brief one. He's not really like a I wouldn't call him a villain, just a person that was misguided, motivated by money and stuff like that. But seeing how Pete what Pete did at the end of the movie, you know, that was actually pretty nice for him to learn the error of his ways. Unlike say a con man who sells you foot grease for a tonic or something like that, who who
Hmm.
who who who, who disappears for the majority of the film and then reappears. Whereas Carl Urban was constant in this movie, which is he's got a little bit of estrangeness towards his older brother, but he still respects him all the same. They're working at a job that's kind of like losing its value, right? Then you have
Right.
the lady deputy sheriff, I think, lady sheriff, who's very nurturing, who's very hang on.
Hmm.
Matthew Flint says, didn't the live action Beauty and the Beast have Belle invent a washing machine? I didn't see it, so I don't know. And if it
I think that's
and if that happens, that's stupid.
I agree. I agree. I heard something like that. I can't confirm because I saw part of it, but I just dropped out because it was so bad. I heard
Like
something
so,
about that,
as you do.
and I haven't forgot. I haven't looked back on it ever since. But I think there was something. I heard something where she was inventing a washing machine or a telescope or something on that nature. But I was like you, Commander. I thought it was the
I
dumbest
think
thing
she
ever.
did invent a telescope. I think that's what I did. Mind you, I did not watch the movie, but I think I heard that's what she
Hmm.
did.
Yeah.
Now that you bring it
Oh
up,
yeah.
I think that's what she invented. And again, that's still stupid.
It is stupid. I felt this was a film that did not need a live action version because it to me live action means the animated version the animated version to me covered everything. It didn't really need a live action remake. I mean a live action version because one the movie spoke for itself. The animated version
Well, here's the
spoke for
thing.
itself.
I also want to bring up too why I say that whole notion of her inventing a telescope is stupid because it's like you mean to tell me you have no faith in your character just being a bookworm, so she has to invent something. That's another thing that these Disney movies are pushing a lot more now. Lady inventors. Even the
Yeah,
Dumbo
like
movie had the little girl wanted to invent stuff. I want to be an inventor
mhm.
because I think women are holding back. Like, oh, don't give me that bullshit, Tim.
Mm-mm.
Tim. Now you pushing that bullshit. What? And then that little girl, bless her heart. I feel bad for her. Bless her heart. She is a terrible actress. She has. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've never been so bored with a Disney live action movie since Dumbo, and that's one of the few other that was like one of the last Disney live actions I've watched was Dumbo, and normally anybody would ask for their money back, but I'm not in the business of asking my money back. I'm like I made this bed, I sleep in it. I think it's kind of I think
I
it's kind.
I saw it on D Plus. I definitely didn't see that in theaters. So that was like D Plus content. That was not movie theater content. I can tell you that. I mean,
Yeah.
I own it, but
Right.
it's because it's out on D Plus. It like has seen it on film like a big.
Only reason why I want to see it because does Tim Burton, and I would like to
Eva
see.
Green, Eva Green. So
Yep, yeah, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now, Al, you ain't alone with the foot fetish.
I don't. I don't know
they,
how.
they,
Oh,
uh,
go ahead.
let me put you like, this, Leia. They were, bruh. Tim did a good job focusing on Ava's feet. Okay. Okay, I was like when she does that little tap thing on Dumbo to raise the foot up. I was like, Tim, uh, it's kind of funny how I've seen so many Tarantino films, and yet you were the only one that made me a foot fetisher.
I guess.
Surprisingly, I guess the I get
Uh,
I guess where Tarantino made his mistake at, he didn't have Every Green in one of his movies. I guess because the many times that we all know Tarantino likes to focus on feet, right?
Yes.
I never considered to be very
mhm.
intrigued by the feet, but I respect the man's attention to detail there, you know. But it took freaking Dumbo to get me into the foot fetish thing, like Al. Wow, because man, Eva Green got some pretty feet.
Mhm.
She got some pretty feet. Uh, Made no mistake about that. Like, but moving on.
I guess I said,
All right.
well,
Okay.
I never knew that Dumbo would bring up the issue of feet, but hey, each to their own. I won't judge you, Commander. I won't. Each to their own. I won't judge you. No judgment from me whatsoever.
Most
To own him.
look. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm an ass man, but Dumbo made me a foot man too somehow.
I was just
Check
going
and
to.
see if my wife catch that. Hope she's paying attention because that's the only way she can get my attention now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I kid.
The stream is getting
But
interesting. It's
hey,
getting very interesting, Chad.
I did say it's a fun stream. I didn't say what rating we were on.
Right. Well, back to Beauty and the Beast. I just felt that what you're describing, and then with the other girl with the adventure, was Disney starting down the path of making their princesses but stunning and brave. Like you said, there was no reason to mess with Belle. Belle had qualities that made her beautiful as she is, but she has to invent something. Well, she already has qualities. She loved to read, she loved to tell stories. Her charm and her ability to see, the phoniness of Gaston. We could see the truthiness of the beast. So that in itself is yes, we are saying.
Hey, I think
Bruh.
freaking took it to zombie feet. So because
Well,
that
we're
female
learning.
has some nasty feet.
Uh,
I don't know if I continue. Shall I? I can break if you guys want to get your feet fetishes out the
Miss
way.
Leia Valor.
I'll let you have the
Hey,
conversation.
I did not bring it up. I was just kind of listening to your thing, but
All I'm saying is don't ask a don't come at us with this. This ain't what I signed up for. You had it on contract that for all intents and purposes, weird
mhm.
stuff will happen in this stream. So you best be along for the ride.
Oh, I'm along for the ride, but I was gonna take a back seat, and if you two would like to continue with the feet conversation, go
I
right
was hoping
ahead.
you was going to contribute.
Well,
we
I don't. I
sometimes
don't.
we do like to hear the woman's perspective on certain fetishes here and there, but you are a lady of class, so I'm not going to pressure you on that,
Mm.
nor will I even pick and prod. So
I have a
oh, say your proctor.
fetish.
Oh man,
I was going to say, I'm sorry, I'm boring. I don't have any fetishes except seeing nice muscles and all
they are
oiled up.
milking.
And
They are milking my thing, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Leia. Go ahead.
I,
G-
I was
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm sorry. I guess I'm rather boring because I really don't have any fetishes except seeing nice muscles and chest and oiled
That's a
up. And
fetish.
okay, well, that would be mine right then and there. And seeing
Her
muscles work
fetish is
out.
her fetish is sculpt bodies.
Yes, and seeing them work out and put those muscles to
And don't
use. And
and mind you, Leia, mind you, don't think that's a cliche. Every lady loves a sculpt body, a sculpt male. I mean, even if they come at you with that BS about, oh, we like our men to have dad bods. No, you don't. No, you don't. Mm-mm.
well,
You be looking at Fabio on the bookshelves all day. Don't give me that crap.
well, when Chris Evans was getting in shape for, I don't know whether it was Winter Soldier or Infinity War, on his Twitter page, he did put a live feed of his daily workout, and I watched the whole thing. So if they want to call that a fetish, you can be fine. From him into the gym, taking off his shirt and getting pumped up and doing all of these, everything he needed to do, including push-ups and lifting the weights, and the shirt was off, and there was the sweat, and he had that live to watch, and I didn't realize I had been sitting there for 2 hours straight. So that's my fetish right then and there. But hey, he put it up there for everybody to see, and I was very impressed. And I think it was for Civil War because he knew he had to get his muscles ready for that shot bringing down the helicopter. So he
Yeah.
took everybody behind the scenes and his would be the trainer, and he took through all the routines, and then he said he was getting
What about
hot.
Henry
And
Cavill?
I saw that one too. I saw that one too. Here's the thing. I'm into Chris. My sister's into Henry Cavill. So that's the thing between
Oh,
us.
so she like hairy chests.
What, Henry Cavill?
Yeah,
Or yeah,
because he
yeah.
got hairy chests.
Mine.
I'm not afraid to admit this on stream either. My chest is like his too. Like, oh my goodness, Henry, we got the same chest, man. I mean, you're more you're more chiseled than me, but dang it, that's a lot of hair, and I got that same amount too. Like, okay, I can relate to
my
you.
my sister didn't care worth squat. I didn't know about it, but I watched it with her. Then I got sucked in and watched it with her since I enjoyed it myself. She didn't care. She didn't
So
care.
now
It
that
was
we're on the
very, it was
subject of
very
Henry
cute.
Cavill, I remember our
Hmm.
conversation on Facebook, right? About
Yes,
him being
yes.
Mhm.
potentially Connor McLeod,
Huh.
or at least one of my hopes is that he's going to be a new and more that they can explore with this upcoming Highlander movie that he's
The
supposed to be in,
Highlander.
right? So
Yeah.
I made this proclamation. I said I'll only approve if he says there can only be one in his Geralt voice. There can only be one.
I heard you say that. I hope that he's a new character. I don't want to replace Connor or my favorite Duncan. Yes, I am a
Hmm.
female. I watched the TV show, which I loved, and Adrian Paul was godlike. Adrian Paul was godlike, and I read. Well, no, he said this in an interview that he never hit this for his past, but he was a male dancer. He was a male dancer
Hmm.
before he got into acting, and it helped him. And I said, and then he showed clips of what he used to do, and okay, yeah, yes, he could move. Good moves, good dancing ability on that man. I could tell, but I do. But back to the subject at hand. But I hope he doesn't replace Duncan. I hope that he's see. We're not. There's not. I don't want him to be Connor or Duncan. I'm like you,
Hmm.
Wolf. I want him to be some sort of new immortal.
Hmm.
I don't think we want him to replace those two. I think Christopher Lambert has sealed himself as Connor McLeod, and so
There
I
was
don't
an
think we need
anime.
to
There was an
retell the
anime.
story.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Hmm.
There was an anime Highlander too. If and
Mhm.
The only I would say the only issue I had with that anime was the fact that they kind of did a bit of a they did a Connor McLeod, but they call him Colin McLeod.
Oh,
But here's
but
the thing though. Here's the thing
okay,
though.
okay,
They did their own. They still did their own thing with it. Because instead of the Kurgan, he fought Marius or Marcus, a Roman, who wanted to reinvent Rome in his own image throughout the passing of time, and it's always been a search for instead of the bad guy coming after the hero, it's the hero coming after the bad guy. It was a revenge story
okay,
for
I
this
see.
one. So it was called Highlander: The Search for Vengeance. It was done by the animated studio that did Ninja Scroll, Vampire to D Bloodlust, and there was another movie that they also helped out. Some one of the animatrix and no, that was Pierre Chung. I'm sorry, wrong one. Uh, I'll get back to you on that one later. But yeah, so
Well,
there's still some Highlander content out there that people haven't
right,
explored yet. Even the
right.
'90s cartoon Highlander, the animated series, which I hear people bash that a lot. I liked it as a kid. The kid in
Well,
me
I still
won't hate it.
I'm still looking right later. I've been binging back, looking back at the TV series, going back and looking back at it and watching it, and I enjoyed it. What I'm saying is, I don't want to see him redo Connor McLeod's story. We don't need that.
Mhm.
If they really, I don't mind have Cavill's casting. I actually thought it was going to be a guy from another show that most men don't watch. I know you guys don't watch it, but I do watch it called Outlander, and there was another guy on there named Sam Hewen. If anybody in chat knows or aware of Outlander, you know what I'm talking about. But most of you men don't. But maybe your girlfriends or
I've
wives or
seen
mothers will
Outlander.
watch it.
That one show where that lady goes back through time?
Right. And she meets a Highlander in the Scottish, and there's this gorgeous redhead
Mm-hmm.
man named, yeah, that Jamie. Yeah, Jamie
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm
Mm-hmm.
Fraser. Yes,
I
Jamie
know
Fraser.
why.
Oh,
I know why.
yes.
I know why. Bruh,
Yes.
I felt bad for him so
And
much throughout that
okay,
whole show. What's her husband's ancestor was doing to him? Oh my goodness. No man
uh
should go through that.
that
No woman should
that
go through that.
I felt well, I did that scared so many men away from that show. When I talk to guys about it, they say they don't ever want to watch that again. They
Nah, I soldiered
ran
on.
so fast.
I guess I'm stronger.
You did? Well, you're stronger because I went to work the next day talking because I was telling guys at work, I said, oh, you should sit with your girlfriends and your wives and you should watch Highlander's great show. And they said, okay, the only thing I warned them was make sure your children are not in for the final two episodes because it's very, very intense and adult. And they don't want to see that. It's okay, sure, I can do that. The next day, they all fussed at me and said, I'm traumatized. Why did you tell us about? I'll never want to see that again. That traumatized me. I said that just I
I'll
don't
tell
want to
you
see
why.
that again.
I'll tell you
Tell
why
me, tell me
I'm
what
much
happened.
stronger. I'll
What
tell you why
happened
I'm
to
much
that man?
stronger.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm
Yes, I
saying
can
I'll
hear.
tell you why I'm much stronger. I survived Blood In, Blood Out. I survived American History X. This is no different. I mean, it's new, but it's no different than what I saw in those two movies. So I was like, yeah. Even Sons of Anarchy, which oh my goodness. In that later season, you could not when every time they go to the prison, you'd be hard pressed to find a lack of prison rape in that
Oh
prison.
yeah, yeah. Just I was like you. I was dilly crying. I just felt so sorry what that monster, that evil man. Yeah, Black Randall. Randall
Yep,
is his
Randall.
name. Yeah, Randall. Black Jack Randall. So cold-heartedly did to him. I mean, the rape, and then he broke his fingers, and he just did these horrible, awful things to him. And
What really
and
killed me was the fact that he psychologically manipulated his brain to where when Claire tried to touch him, he couldn't even be anywhere near him. Even when there was trying to be when she tried to be intimate with him,
yeah,
he couldn't do it because
yeah,
the moment he gets close to her, he sees his face. I was like
right.
that like look, all the dudes are queuing in on the butt rape. No, I'm queuing in on the fact that he fucked the man's mind.
Yes.
Excuse me, everybody.
No, yes, I agree with you 100%. That's what Randall destroyed him physically and mentally. He wanted to break him
Mhm.
down in every single capacity. And that goes to show you sexual assault affects everybody. That's what I liked about the show. I said it affects women, but it also affects men who go through that. Men go through it too. It's just they're taught not to talk about it because even in the show, he wouldn't talk. He was going through it, but it was hard for him to express what he was going through, and because there was nobody back then to talk to you, so they get psychologically hurt too. No, no, I wouldn't. What happened to him, I wouldn't wish on anyone, male or female. I wouldn't have wished that on anyone. But I agree with you, Wolf. It got him to the point where he couldn't be intimate. He couldn't be intimate with her, and I've read that with some rape victims for a while. That is a unfortunately a side effect, is the psychological of it afterwards. And yeah, it was hard for him to be intimate with Claire again because all he did was see his face, and
Mhm.
that was horrible. So it just goes to show you that it it can affect anybody. It could affect anybody. But I applaud that actor for doing that storyline. It was very brave of him because he
You
even
got
for
you
what.
got you also had it's kind of crazy how that was also a an actor from Game of Thrones that did that scene too. He was I think I think he's a Turley. Yeah, he was a Turley in Game of Thrones, and he's meant to be like one of the he's kind of a fuck up in the show, but he's like a he's actually way better written in the books. Not really much talked about in the books, but he's a better character in the books. But you find him. I found him a few times, like in Underworld, Blood
Mhm.
Wars. He was the main villain in Blood Wars. Um, but seeing him doing that role, I was like, this dude, this dude right here made it for me. Everywhere else, he's kind of fine, but like this is what made me look twice with him. Like this man can do evil really well.
Yes,
Like I like against Charles Dance, he's up there now. Like now I can say you rival Charles Dance in evil at this point because man,
evil and a very good actor. Very good because he's got me messed up. Because now when I see his face, I'm like a bulldog. I'm like, oh, you.
yeah. I was like, bruh, me and my wife was watching it.
Hmm.
She was disgusted by the display too, but like I'm ready to look. She's like he's a gay. That's because she's Filipino. Oh my god, he's a gay. and she's Roman Catholic, and you know how those go hand
Hmm.
in hand together, and she's
Hmm.
more focused on the fact that he's gay. I'm like I'm ready to murder this motherfucker right now.
I
Every
am.
time I see him, I'm ready to rip his throat out. I'm a werewolf too. I'm ready to wolf out right now.
I'm
I'm
the
like,
same way. I
oh
saw
my
him on a
goodness.
show.
Mhm.
I saw him on a show or at Comic Con or something. I just growled the whole time. I don't want to look at you, you monster, you evil. I just wanted to beat him up so bad. I said I shouldn't do that because he's an actor, but I just
Look,
see his face now and I just growl. I
now that
just
you bring
cannot
that up,
stand it.
anybody remember What's Love Got to Do with It, right? Everybody remember that
Yeah.
movie, right?
Yes. Seen it many
I
times.
read this
Yes.
I read this line on TV Tropes, and I believe it that that since Lawrence Fishburne played Ike Turner, a lot of women really hated him for
I can
because
understand why. I
all
hated
they
him for a
saw
while.
was Ike Turner. I didn't. I saw him as Morpheus, of course. But then again, I was a
Yeah.
youngin, so I didn't know that was him playing Ike Turner. But even then,
Hmm.
like I probably would have been okay with him too. Same thing with the guy who played the abusive boyfriend in Tyler Perry's what was that one movie, Family Reunion, right?
Hmm.
Where they mixed I Could Do Bad All by Myself with Family Reunion.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um, I remember talking to my friend's wife's mom. This is before they him he and her got hitched, right?
Right.
but we had this conversation about Tyler about this one actor, and he was on a move he was on the movie. He wasn't the abuser this time, but he I love Angry Thoughts. Anyways, so I mentioned how much of a good actor he can be. Sometimes she's like, I don't like him, and I was like, why is that? That's she said I saw him in Medea's family reunion, the movie, and she made mention that like once a man or once anybody play a role so well, it really sticks in the mind of the audience. And I was like, well, I can understand that. I can
Mm-hmm.
understand that fully. I
Oh
never
yeah,
questioned her. I never tried to sorry, Leia. I
go
never
ahead.
tried to try to push her in any direction or anything. All I wanted to know was why she didn't like the person. She gave me the answer, and I was like, that was an interesting viewpoint. I said, I think the same thing happened with Lawrence Fishburne. Lo and behold, I read it on TV. I was like, oh yeah, that adds up.
Yeah, he redeemed himself with me as playing when he played Morbius in the Matrix. Then I was redeemed
Yeah.
because Morbius was a cool character. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he's redeemed, but he also tells me just how
Mhm.
talented he really is. Now going back to Blackjack Randall,
Anime, eat the cake, eat the cake,
it's
anime, eat the cake, anime, anime, eat the cake.
yeah,
You gonna leave me
he's just
like all those all other sad foods did too, anime? Go ahead, Leia. Sorry.
no. I was going to say when I think back to Randall and don't say the other way, but well, and this is a topic you're going to have coming up, Wolf. I'm not going to rely on it. I'm going to go back to when you have the topic when we talk about villains and villain problems. Black Jack Randall was the type of villain we need now because he was just
Mm-hmm.
despicably, unapologetically evil. And I think that's why
Mm-hmm.
that actor it's stuck, like you said. I think that's why a lot of audiences were shocked
Funnily
because there was
enough,
no,
he's a
my
real
little
life figure.
who
He exists. Black Jack Randall exists.
there was a real
Outlander
Blackjack Randall.
Outlander may have been about time travel, but they were touching on they were touching on a historical war, civil war that happened between Britain and
The Highland,
Ireland.
yeah, yeah. I forgot the name of that war. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I yeah, that was a real war. Yes, it was. You're right about that.
a resistance. It was which
Right.
they lost, and she even
Oh
points
yeah.
out that they lost.
Yes,
But
it
yeah,
wiped them out. Yeah.
that guy exists in real
Mhm.
life. That's what makes it scarier
Oh
for me.
goodness, I didn't know. Me too. Like there was a real Randall. Oh no.
Let me
Let
hang
me
on.
see. Let me see his ass.
Let me fact check though. Let me fact check. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I was about to say that means he has ancestors that could be still alive today.
Let's
But I was going to
see.
say he would while you're fact checking, and I'm just going to say this. I'm going to go into this when we go on the topic of villains because we do have a villain problem. I know people say Marvel has a. I said that's the kind of villain Marvel needs. A guy like that who's unapologetically wicked. There is no, well, Mr. McFluffykins got killed, got shot in the woods, and that's what turned me into Blackjack Randall. None of that. This
Hmm.
guy was unapologetically evil, and as much as I hated him, I loved him for it because we don't have that kind of villain around right now. We need a guy like that. That's the kind of villainy, and that's all I'll say on that. But I'm gonna hold more of that off when we get to the topic of villains. But I
Yeah.
said that is I said that's the guy the MCU needs. You need a unapologetically evil villain. And I think that's
Yep.
why we hated him, but we loved him because he was absolutely. I was so shocked because he didn't apologize for it. There was an episode where Claire was trying to see if she could get to him and see the innocence, but he said, "This is what I am, and this is what I'm going to die as. I won't be nothing else but this." And I'm like, "That's an unapologetic, and that's a villain we need more of. That's a
Hmm.
big villain problem. They need a guy like that. They need a guy like
He's a
that." Um,
fascinating character to study too. I don't care about Black Lives Matter. I care about Black Jack Randall. motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm unfiltered today. I'm very unfiltered today.
but
This is a
but
fun.
but,
I hope.
but the,
I hope. Sounding River can understand that. I hope. I hope this doesn't put her off on visiting my streams ever again. Cause
but but I also have to say the actor Jamie, the guy who played that character and had to do that scene, very brave because he's a very handsome, strong, physically strapping man, and to be told, well, you have to do this jail rape scene and you have to be weakened by it. Most actors wouldn't do it, but I give him his props for putting himself through, doing that. Because yeah, I give him a lot
yes,
of
but
credit.
is he a real person though? Because the only thing I'm getting is he might be a fictional character. He might
Jamie
be based
Fraser
around.
or Black Jack
No,
Randall. Are you
yeah,
looking at Randall?
Randall might be a combination of real life people though. That's the thing.
I think that's what
But
the
I'm like,
author said. Yeah, that he was a combination of some real life people. But
yeah,
when they announced so that he could be that when they
he could be fictional then, but just based on around like two different historical figures, which again is scary.
Yeah.
yeah, because that means that he has ancestors. Oh well, stay over there in Scotland. Over here. But I actually thought when I looked at that gorgeous redhead that plays Jamie, and they announced the Highlander remake, I like they didn't ask him because that guy is Scottish by birth and he is Scottish and rocks a kilt. Body is just
Hmm.
absolutely just physically perfection. They didn't ask that any call that
There's always a
guy,
there's always an attempt at his manhood. Not from Randall himself, but even from his peers. Like are you even a man, Jamie?
yes.
Even his
From
sister even his sister gave him grief. We
yes.
accused her of being a whore. Like yeah, buddy, you deserve that. There's some things there's something that fires back at him that he do deserve sometimes. like Jamie, stop being a jerk. Hear the context first. Hear the context first. Like
Yes.
read the room, Jamie. Dang it, Jamie, read. I'm screaming at the screen. Read the room, Jamie. Read the room. Dang. He got awesome when they got to France though. I did like what he was doing in France. Like oh man, they didn't turn him into freaking Assassin's Creed now. Like okay,
Well, he
Hmm.
did.
this is
Yeah.
this Assassin's Creed series that we should have gotten that we never got. Okay, I'm all for it.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't even care if the guy not French. He could be Irish because in Unity you play a French character in Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity you're supposed to play a French character but voiced by a British person apparently. Yeah, that game got a lot of scrutiny. Not basically around that, but other problems that it was facing, which was technical. But yeah, I was like oh, this is Assassin's Creed. Okay,
Yeah. That's.
okay.
Oh yeah. They fixed him up. He fixed himself up, and he was educated. He learned when he went to France that he can't, goof
Adapt.
off like yes he could adapt and he could adapt and he grew. He made some mistakes back then and there, but when he got to France, he which got better at it. And then after they went back to Scotland to prepare for the war, he was much better. So
Oh,
he,
I
he
didn't I didn't get that far. She ended up going up ahead on me. Dang it, woman.
okay.
See,
Well,
see,
I went.
she's always talking about that whole starting the show with and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you be watching it in the background behind my back, and I'm all here lost, and you asking me what happened. You're the one asking me what happened in this show, and you watched it right behind my back. You should know this more than me. Sorry. I shouldn't be sharing my lover spats on stream. Kidding. But
No,
no,
it's
she get on
understandable.
my nerves when she do that. I'm like don't be what like if it's a series that we both look. I don't care if you're watching your own stuff like your Korean dramas and all that stuff. That's all on you. If you want to watch your soap opera drama, that's on your time. When we start a show together, we stay here. You don't finish it up in the background, okay? And then turn around asking me what happened. You the one who watched it. You tell me. I was answering that back. I'm like, you tell me.
I think she assumed you were watching it too. That's probably why she asked what happened. And
No, it's funny because she leaves for me to play my Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
She so I can have time to play my games and whatnot. And then she comes back. I'm like, she's like, well, what happened after that? I'm like, and I'm looking at her like, you tell me. You the one who watched it. I'm lost. You expect me to know? What, you think I'm watching? You think I'm watching this behind Joe back? Unlike you?
Oh, I would say if you did, you can confess it, Commander. If you were watching it behind, most men say I watched it because my wife likes it and she makes me sit through it. So it's
Mm.
okay. Most men don't. When they really
Some
don't
of them
want to be
I
there.
do. Some of them I do. But when I hear some woke garbage come out, I'm like, okay, we're not watching this no more.
Okay. But I
There,
was just saying,
I sorry. I think
go on.
one. I think one show we did do that on was Legacies or the originals. And I think one of them said, "We ain't got time for you to mansplain this to his dad." I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. After the man explained what they need to do to stop the demon, and she fires back with, we don't have time for you to man. I'm like, uh, yeah, I'm out.
Um, I don't blame you. I would be out too. See, the thing about that is no one deserves to be disrespected, male or female. And this woke garbage is going around that it's okay for women to put down and disrespect men, but men can't do it to women. Now, true, nobody should be doing it to anybody,
Hmm.
calling them stupid or ignorant. But Hollywood is trying to give this message that, well, it's okay for us women to do it, but you men can't do it to us when we're ignorant and being. And that's,
Because we're ladies.
yeah, well, I think it's cruel. I wouldn't want anybody to talk to me that way. So why would I talk to somebody if I didn't want? I don't want myself treated that way. So if somebody told me a script, I said I wouldn't talk.
My 2 cents is that you're in a situation, and the one thing, the biggest concern for you is that the man explains to you how to defeat the demon. That's your only concern after all the demon has done thus far, which is either killed most of the people that you probably like, or most people that you probably hate, and will continue to kill you, or at least its zero focus is killing you, and your biggest concern is your dad mansplaining when the demon's right there in front of you, advancing towards you, ready to
Yeah, I
kill
would be
you, and you have to
right.
slow the tension down to make that snide remark. I'm like, no, I'm out.
No, when
You
the guy could be saying, "Angry Green Ross, I agree with you." That's good. Make villains bastards again. I like that title. That's true.
hmm
We have to remember that for the next stream. No, back to you saying, Commander, I agree because maybe that man is going to tell you something that could save your life. But no, I'm the strong woman. I can do this all myself. They should have a film where the strong woman does that and goes up on her own and just gets killed. And I would not feel any
hmm
sympathy because you should have listened to what the guy was telling you. But no, they
Here's
want to
another
prove.
thing I want to add. Here's another thing I want to add. Sh- Uh, it's because of them why they got themselves in that situation in the first place, and yet again, the dad's in the wrong because he mansplained. You're the ones who are the reason the demon is after some BS that you did that caused the demon to come after you. And again, that's the thing that's the thing that's the top priority on your mind. Wow. I was like,
Yeah.
like the next episode, we done. We are done. I told her. I said, we're not watching no more of this at all. I'm sorry. Like this, like if you want to watch this when I'm not here. If I come here, you better shut this down because I'm not
Exactly.
even sorry, even legacies. No, not legacies. Is it legacies? This is one where there's these witches and these werewolves, And they induct the main character into their group, and the girl has a pause them and say all inclusive group. I'm like, um, okay. Your point is like like you got me selling that you guys are a group of werewolves that fight the bad guys that fight the good fight, and you guys stop to make sure that no female get left behind or something like that. Like, so that's one thing I get tired of, especially when it came out to MIB MIBII.
Oh, you sat through that? I wasn't going to sit through that at all.
No,
And see,
no,
because
I
okay,
didn't see through that, but I saw in the trailer where Chris Hemsworth says the men and women in black. I'm like, dude, really?
no. Hmm.
And of course, Tessa Thompson has to. Oh yeah. Victoria Fact, yeah, the order. Yeah, the order. I was like when she did that, I was like, yeah, but do I care? All I care about is the fact that you're a group of werewolves, which I'm aware of myself. Hello. Anyways, anyways,
Did the werewolves turn on her and bite her hand off or something to make their point or put her in her place? Or bet you they didn't do that, did they? Did they do anything like that
yeah.
when she said that?
What
Mm.
what
Did
what?
they? Did they
Sorry,
like
what was the question?
when you said she said something about them being werewolves or something in a snotty, stuck up the butt way? Did the
Look,
werewolves turn and bite her finger up or
she was
something?
like, welcome to the brotherhood, the all inclusive brotherhood. I was like, oh, shut up, girl.
Oh, I would have
Like
turned
I
the
didn't.
TV off right there.
I was like, no, stop. Don't slow down. Explain your order of werewolves to be all that. I don't even. I don't know what these writers are thinking about when it comes down to brotherhood. Don't specifically mean men, just specifically men. Brotherhood means familyhood, basically family in a group. So anybody could be part of that
Yeah,
quote unquote brotherhood. There's
yeah,
like if you want to have a sisterhood, go ahead and do that. But at the same time, it's like the brotherhood. It's not to say the brotherhood is very exclusively to male, especially when it comes to the brotherhood of evil mutants or the brotherhood of mutants later on retooled in later iterations. Mystique has been the head of household of the brotherhood of mutants, right?
right.
There's never hopefully hopefully don't tune into the stream today and give them ideas, but there's never a moment where Mystique comes in and say there should be a sisterhood as well of evil mutants. Like, no, no, if you want to do that, go ahead, but make sure you, here's the thing I want to bring up definitely, especially with these all female groups.
Hmm.
And have you heard of this one movie called Higher Learning?
Yes, I saw it one time, but I forgot the plot, so I can't tell you everything about it. But I do
So
remember it.
it kind of deals with a talk. It's basically every SJW's wet dream, but well written. At least I like to call it that, an SJW's wet dream. But it also has Lawrence Fishburne in that one too, with
Yes.
also Ice Cube, uh, Omar Epps, and Busta Rhymes. But
Yeah.
it talks about racism, sexism, rape in college, and of course that. So you got this group, this female group, doing this whole little seminar about sexual assault on campus, right? And
Right.
then one of the main characters was which was a white guy, a white dude, wanted to join in on it, right?
Right.
And the main character, who was also a woman, says, well, it's only it's females only. It's like, yeah, but doesn't that defeat the purpose if you exclude the males? And she looked at him like, I never thought of that.
Oh, good.
I like you- look when he said that, I looked at him like, yeah, that's kind of right. You
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
No. What was I going to say? I think that I was just going to say sometimes when you see a TV show or a movie and there's always a battle of the sexes kind of episode, that's the code word for the men must lose. Whether you've seen it on a sitcom or in a film, there's always a battle of the sex. And someone else talked about this. The women always win. I said, do they have to always win? I mean, but that's true. Anytime or any I can't think of one right away, but if you think of any sitcom or talk show, um, when they say, well, you know what, we're going to put you guys in your place. We have a bet. That's a code word for men. You're going to lose because they won't allow women to lose, and sometimes we do lose. There are some things men can.
Trooper, everybody worried that sorry, Leia. Trooper, everybody worried that you didn't died. So we've been talking
Yeah.
all day, and we're on a 2 hour mark. You got anything to talk about?
No, I ended up having to take a personal call.
Okay.
No, not really, because just more stuff I have to kind of iron out. I'll probably have to get out of here
Okay.
in a hot minute or so, because I'm gonna have to
Oh
call him
man,
back.
you gonna leave me here with Leia Valor? This is gonna be awkward. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's a
I
long
hope
story.
not.
It's a long story. Well,
Oh, we
long story
understand,
short,
Trooper.
a lot of yeah. I'll leave it at that.
No, if you wanted to, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to say you understand when there's business that has to be done, you got to take care
Mhm.
of your business. But go ahead if you want to tell the story. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just
Yeah.
want to say that we'll miss you, but we understand why you have to handle your business.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. What it is, I'm in the midst. Yeah, I'm in the midst of two cases, and one is bleeding right into the other. So, going to happen. I think I hinted at being in a car a few weeks ago. A lot of that stuff is just now starting to bleed into the other case. So I'm gonna have to. I got to go down there and talk to the big dude, not the big guy, the big dude, and iron out some more paperwork. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's been fun hanging out. Sorry I got to cut out early.
It's okay.
So
Hey, it's completely understandable.
I would
feel that
stay
you
if
got to
I
stay focused
could,
on this.
but unfortunately, attorney calls.
Yes, so you got to. When attorneys calls, you got to listen. So I completely understand. I completely
The
understand. You got
best
to
way to
bow out.
put it.
So I feel you.
It's
Are you?
cool. Yeah, I'm hanging out with you guys. Um, yeah, yeah. So
All right
it
then.
was
If you
awesome.
want to dip out,
Sorry, I got to cut out. It's been
you can.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's been fun
Yeah.
listening to the Henry Cavill conversation. Look, if he's a new Highlander, that's fantastic. Yeah. So yeah. So guys, it's been great. This is Trooper FN2525 from Imperial Occupied, Occupied Balmora, coming to you live from a super secret location with not so excellent Wi-Fi. And again, like, share, subscribe. Keep throwing your comments into the chat. It helps the algorithm out. If you want more, yeah, if you want. I don't know when some of us will start making the jump to Odyssey or other platforms, but I'm definitely looking to do that. So I'm looking into that now.
Yeah,
Also.
I'm going to be watching that
All right, guys, I
closely.
got to check out. Talk to you
Yeah,
guys later.
basically what Trooper's saying.
Yeah, definitely. I think. Yeah.
See you
so.
next week, Trooper.
All right, guys. I will be here.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm surprised nobody hasn't suggested any more topics since we've been talking.
I was going to say, but this is your stream. I don't understand your boundaries. If someone wanted to join us, or Matthew Flint is not here, he could take his place. But
Yeah, I was hoping that was going to happen too.
yeah,
But
he usually
only
pops up.
yep, he will. We'll see.
No
We're
one
still going
suggests.
on 2 hours, so Yeah. Go ahead, Leia.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. I said you said no one's suggesting any topics out there.
I mean, here and there, but like I said, I also double this as a Q&A stream too, so nobody asked no questions either. Interesting. Oh well, everybody's talking amongst themselves, so I'm gonna cue in on what comments that they did directed toward us.
Well,
And go ahead.
well, oh, okay. I didn't want to interrupt. Well, yeah, with the Highlander thing, the only thing my concern is I don't want Cavill to be. Well, first of all, I don't want woke. If it's woke, I'm out of there because nowadays when movie studios announce a project or a remake or a reboot, I that's a code word for we have to make it woke. So I don't want any of that mess. If it's Cavill, I want Cavill sexy, looking sexy in a kilt and chopping off heads. Nothing else in
Hmm.
between. I don't want the girl that answers everything that comes and teaches them and shows them the way. I don't want to see any of that trash. I want to see the guy that was Sean. I think that they have a problem. They're having a problem casting someone to play the Sean Connery part. There's been all kinds of names being floated out there for who should
I'm
play.
sure it's gonna be a brown skin.
Yeah, I was about to say they'll find, or probably somebody black. But why do you have somebody black in the Highlands? Is
No, well, he's an immoral.
beyond
He
me.
travels. They all travel. So think about it like this. If he's gonna be the Ramirez type,
Hmm.
if he's black, I can see it happening because he's immortal. So him traveling to the Highlands and remember, Leia, immortals attract each other. They sense each other. Remember that.
Yes, that's
So
true.
especially when a moral has been reawakened as a brand new immoral, and another immoral by nature goes to that person to explain the situation, especially when it comes to the gathering and the prize.
Yes.
And that's one of my main concerns too. Is with these reboots is that they take something that's very simplistic, and they try to over like try to make it more complex than it already is.
That it really
So
is. Yeah.
so what I really am gonna be worried about is they change the rules of the gathering. They're gonna probably omit the whole hallowed ground rule. The you can't fight on hollow ground, which is church or basically anything that's considered holy.
Right.
Like
Right.
in the case of Search for Vengeance, the reason why like Marcus had every opportunity to take Colin's head, but every time he tried to, um, Colin was in hollow ground. So of course in the case of Marcus is very respectful of the rules. So there's one time when he tried when he could have taken Colin's head the first time, he was at Stonehenge. The second time he attempted, he stopped because they both of them at World War II crashed into in a cathedral, a holy cathedral, basically a church. So they
Hmm.
could
Right.
that's where they had that's why they kind of stopped because he traveled after Marcus through feudal Japan to World War II. And that's where they finally actually got a chance to talk again. Because the first time they did was when the barbarians sacked Rome, and he lost then. Um, he could have had Colin then, but the barbarians stormed in before he could. In the case of but of course there was that scene in the cathedral where Colin says, "No matter where you go, I will kill you." And he says, Marcus says, my idea is to rebuild Rome. What are your ambitions? He says, my ambition is to kill you. And he fires back, I wonder who's the bigger fool.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's my fear too, that they shouldn't have to make it more difficult than it is. Just make it very simple that or try to change the rules of what happens with the quickening after you take off
Yeah,
the other one's head, you get their power. They don't have to change that up and or
power and
none of that.
knowledge and
Right, the
skill.
power and the skill and all of that. I hope they don't bend those rules or try to change those rules. None of all of that lore that goes into the Highlander lore should
It's
remain.
simple.
Yes, it is. It's very simple. They don't have to mix that up. So I do have concerns because there's different people working on it this time, and like
Brian
all
Gil
the
Martin. Sorry, let
go
me
ahead.
pump the brakes real quick because has kind of hovered, and I'm very curious as to why he's asking us about Memorial Day. Of course, we're going to celebrate Memorial Day. It's the troops, man. It's the troops, man. Memorial Day is about the troops. You know I work. You know I work for the military, right? So of course I'm all about Memorial Day. Dang it! Is that even a question, sir? Is there even a question there, sir? Of course, I believe in Memorial Day. Who said? Why is that even a question? You explain to me, Brian Gilmore. Why is that a concern? For some reason, are they trying to overturn Memorial Day? Because I hear they're trying to get rid of a lot of holidays, specifically the
Yeah.
4th of July. They're definitely trying to get rid of the 4th of July, which I don't think we should. I never thought
Mm-mm.
we should ever. That's a time honored tradition, you dummies. Um, yeah, so I would like to know the reason why they would want to get rid of Memorial Day too. That a very very disrespectful reasoning too. Not anything that they think is sensible for why they're getting rid of certain holidays or getting rid of anything or their attempt to get rid of anything. It's just dumb in my book. And yes, I did make mention that maybe we should get rid of Black History Month, but since we already got Pride Month and all these other dumb months now, it's like what, leave it, whatever. It's whatever for me now. um, sorry. Victoria Fagpile. I just said her name wrong. Victoria Fagbow asked you a question, Leia. She said, "Hey, Leia, have you heard about Florida school editing girls' pictures because they're busty?"
I heard something like that. I didn't pay attention to it because I thought it was ridiculous. And I thought to myself, well, if this was back in the day when I was in school, I definitely would be edited out. Um, I, girls have breasts. It's a biological, God given fact. You can't, this Puritan attitude, stupid Puritan attitude is ridiculous. It's a lack of common sense. Girls have breasts. Why? What are you scared of? Why are you scared of that? Oh my God, what do they think? I guess they're going to think boys are going to look at it and they're just going to get so hard that they're just going to go out and try to get every
I
girl
wish
that
Trooper
they
was still
really
here about
find.
that.
Yeah, I think that it's ludicrous. It's silly. It's lack of common sense. Girls have, we have breasts. It's up
If
to
here's my
parents
thing.
to teach them
Here's my
how
take
to
on
treat themselves as a woman.
Here's my take on it.
Hmm.
Why are you not enforcing a dress code if that's such a big concern for you?
That's another thing I was about to say. Yeah, if the girls are taking pictures and they are showing, which some of them do, I've seen some of them out there dressing like they're Cardi B and they're only 14. You need to really put your foot down with a dress code. I agree with you, Commander. I That's a good question. Why are they not
Like
doing that?
if that's such a big concern, that's what I mean. Like if that was such a big concern for you, especially when you're looking at the yearbooks and you really are all about that BS. You should have been enforcing a dress code. That's all you had to do. You should enforce the dress code. No 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 tops that reveal your bust size. No or at least bring back school uniforms.
Hmm. Because some of these kids
You,
are dressing outrageous. I do agree. I would have to say with that. Some of them are going too far. But go
mm.
ahead and continue. Some of them are.
I was gonna say like if that was if you if like here's the thing. They always preach about how other entertainers or other people are sexualizing these so-called young teens and all that stuff. I'm like, again, if that was such a big concern for you, why didn't you not order some school uniforms and make that a mandatory? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's mandatory that that the that the students wear school uniforms, boys and girls. there's no rainbow, no rainbow shirts, no
Mhm.
BLM shirts anymore. Like if you go if you oh aha, see, you ain't gonna do that because you guys are stepping on eggshells at this point. I
Right.
I would say this: if I was a principal and I saw that, I'm like, I would be like, that is messed up. How you guys? Actually, that would. In fact, if I was a principal, that wouldn't even be committee. That would not be now we got people we got students that are going to experience very embarrassing yearbook pictures. Completely terrible yearbook pictures. They're not even pictures anymore. They're Photoshop pictures now. That's going to be with them for the rest of their lives, like a tattoo.
Right. That's what they're
Unless
not thinking.
unless unless they can reverse that, which I doubt that they can. They probably got rid of the original photo anyways. But you can retake the pictures and not use the edited versions. You can. But what I'm
Hmm.
saying is that that's going to be in the yearbook picture forever if they leave it like that, because that's on printed paper. Last time I checked, that's going to be on printed paper. So that's going to be like a tattoo for them. Like that's going to be like, think about these kids that's going to have other kids as they get older, and they kept their yearbooks, right?
Hmm.
Mommy, what's that on your chest? And that's, again, that's they, nobody thinks the far side of this, and they're not really good photoshopped either. They're not really good. There's one where they literally took the whole picture, the whole color of the shirt, and just stretched it over across the breasts. I was like, wow, you didn't even try with this one. You did not try at all with
Mm-mm,
this one.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
That's gonna be with that girl for the rest of her life. I feel bad for. Look, y'all talking about, say y'all feeling bad for the girls. I feel bad for these women, these young women. You met because you guys decided to mess that up. Now they gotta stick with that for the rest of their lives. They're gonna be living with that for the rest of their lives, and you are the cause of it. Not no men that are gonna put that you think are gonna fap off to their breasts. Period. You are the ones that ruined their lives. Not these men, not these young men. None of them. It's you. So I always say this to them: the problem is you, because you are the ones who have the problem, and underneath it all, you guys are probably doing some other nasty shit too. While y'all sitting here trying to be all self righteous and all that.
Well, the thing is that the young people now, they are very heavily influenced by this culture and this media that is telling them to do whatever you want to do. There are no rules. They don't want any rules or any laws about anything. So if I want to come to school with my jugs out and my skirts so high it sees up to everything in the world, and I want to strut around there, I'm going to do it. If you tell me that I don't, you're disrespecting me, or you're invading my privacy, or you're violating my rights, because they don't know what that word really means. So that's what they're thinking. And some of these people in authority are too scared to do it. They're too scared to put their foot down and say, no, not here, not at school. Now, when you leave the school grounds, I'm like you. When you leave the school grounds, you can change anything you want. But here, you are going to follow the dress code. Just like I said, yes, women do have breasts, but um, it doesn't mean they get to show up. They get to. We want to see them. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Brian Gilmartin's comment here. He said they run. It's like he says like it. Sorry, let me start over. Brian
Hmm.
Gilmartin to Dominic Powell, like Razorfist said, they spent so much time running from their parents that they became them on crack. Yeah, I I
Exactly. Hmm.
I, I began to realize that I realized that about myself too a few times. Thankfully, I didn't have a child at wedlock. Thank goodness for that one. But I do see sometimes that I do imitate a bit of my parents, no matter how hard I try to distance myself away from them. Back then,
Right.
I mean, back then. But yeah, I caught on to that. Like they're becoming the very parents that told them not to do the wrong things, and they act like they're the moral authority to police everybody else's children. But you're the ones who hate your parents. So how you gonna tell? How you gonna control what a child does with their body? You know, or I bring that up too. Definitely bring that up because they're the ones that are trying to shout down to parents to say that they can't do anything with say anything to their child, right? And they're the ones that push contraceptives. They're the ones that are pushing the kids to have transitions. They're the
Yes.
ones that some of them are sneaking passes to kids to go and get a transition, get hormone therapy.
Yes.
I'm like,
They.
you are the biggest hypocrites I've ever known. You guys are basically becoming the parents that you hate. Because here's one
Yeah.
thing I will say about your parents that you hate, and why I respect them more so than I respect you. Because at least they're consistent with their with what you would quote unquote call control. At least it has a purpose and a reason as to why. Because if left to your own devices, you would run wild. Yes, you would. You have no, at least you don't have the guidance or the fortitude to actually have some self control when you're free like that. You know.
Right. Exactly. I
Eh,
just think. Oh, go
Go
on.
ahead.
No.
No, go ahead.
No. I was going to say that that they have to. Oh, I thought I was roboting for a minute there. Um, they have to take the try to get them to think common sense, because especially let's just take the young ladies for instance. They are getting these messages from the media that to be open with their sexuality or sexy whatever, and they don't realize the consequences of their actions. You still want to treat you, even though they're not telling you this, but you still want to treat yourself with dignity and respect as a young lady. So like you said, if you give a family and you take a picture like that and you're just everything is hanging out, your daughter or son will say, well, hey mommy, what you doing with your top off? Or hey mommy, what you doing? How are you going to explain that to your kid, and then how are you going to carry yourself? You still want to carry yourself with some dignity and respect. That's what it's supposed to all be about. And it's not dignity and respect if you demand to come to school or take pictures that are indecent or vulgar, because there's no beauty. See, in this age and age, they think vulgarity is beautiful.
Hmm.
Vulgarity is raunchy is where it's at. That's where I need to be. Raunchy and vulgarity is empowering. Oh my God, no, it is not. It's absolutely not. Why Cardi B or anybody else is out there singing about getting all they can get, and here you are 16, and then you hear that record, then you go out and you get all you can get, then you found out that you're pregnant. I mean, I'm talking from my experience in my neighborhood with my friends, and I'm going to tell you, in
Hmm.
my neighborhood, even though my mother constantly remind me, guys, they didn't want to, they didn't give you any romantic love. Once they got you in the bed and got you, they moved on. There was no
Yep.
Romeo and Juliet kind of storyline. There was no we love each other and we're going to run off together. It's young love. Whole BS. Not in my neighborhood. In my neighborhood, if
Hmm.
that guy sweet talks you and gets you in the bed, which is what they plan to do, they're gone.
Hmm.
And you're just stuck with the kid, and you're strolling down the street with his kid while he's off to the next girl around the corner. And he's going to think nothing of you. And there's nothing romantic about that. It
Nope.
doesn't, it's about that. So that's what they have to learn. I see now that girls today think raunchy and vulgarity is what is beautiful, but it's not. It even if you have to carry yourself with dignity and respect, and I just don't see this in these young girls. I feel for them because they think it's supposed to be empowering. It's not empowering at all. It's not empowering one bit.
It's
That singer,
false,
that's yeah,
false
it's false.
confidence.
Yeah, that singer that's singing that record about getting all they can get, well, they're getting a paycheck and they're moving on. But you're the one that's going to be stuck with a child to raise, or God forbid, you get
With Pookie and Ray Ray.
yes, and you're wondering, well, that's not supposed to go. He was supposed to say he was going to marry me and we were going to run off and then we were going to be together. And trust me, in my neighborhood, it never happened. It never happened. It was always the guy was up and gone. And I did not want that for myself. And I knew the way a lot of some of these guys were. And trust me, Wolf, they weren't. They'll say to me, don't you want to go with so and so and this? I said, so and so has 3 babies from the girl around the block. Do you think I want to be on the next list?
Mm-hmm.
And that's and that's all they wanted. It's no lie. I just gotta tell the truth. All they wanted was just to get you in the bed. And that was it. I hate to say raw like that, but that's what it was. And a lot of the girls
I'm
gave
not
into
afraid to
that.
admit. Look, I'm not afraid to admit that I was one of those guys too. I'm not even afraid to admit to that, but I was also not dumb either. Like, 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 I was always very careful not to get a girl pregnant because, you know, one, I'm not financially ready. Two, I'm not. The girls that I try to go after were not that very attractive to say the least. I
well,
don't know
well,
what. Look, I'm looking back now. I was like, what did I see in these broads? Was I that desperate to shoot one off? Wow. I'm
I was
like,
going to ask you
I didn't put no
how.
baby in that one.
Well, it's good you realized you were going to be a daddy, but how were you able to avoid that? I mean, I don't want to get personal, but I'm sure the other girl probably looked at you and thought, "Yeah, that's a good catch. That's gonna be my baby daddy."
Mm,
So I don't know how you got out of
nah.
there.
Look, I was a nerd, so obviously I was the least potential mate in the world of competition against all the thugs and all that stuff. But like again, even the nerd can be desperate too sometimes. So
Hmm.
make no mistake about that, guys. We could like us nerds can slip up too if we especially if we emulating the thugs too, which we shouldn't be. Which
Mm-mm.
I was never about. Even when they try to coerce me, my cousins and my brother try to coerce me to sag. I'm like, I'm not down with that.
Well, in my neighborhood, the thugs who you want to avoid because the things that girls would tell me about what the thugs would do to them, I did not want. They may seem all hip and cool and everything, but I've heard some stories about how they treated their girlfriends and how they were
Yeah,
themselves, and it was also dangerous. And I did not want that for myself. And there were some cuties,
and
and
they
they were
still date
cuties,
them.
but yeah. But when I heard how some of them were,
Sadly,
yeah, sadly, yes, I've had many friends. I remember that I would say to them, I don't think you should hang out with that guy. It's not that good. And they go to me, oh, girl, he got it going on. What's the matter with you? And they would be cute and hot and sexy, of course, yeah. But when I heard the things they were doing, I didn't want to be a part of that. Some were part of gangs,
hmm
some were into drugs, and most of all, how they treated the girls. And I did not want that for myself. I did not want that for myself. So they were there. But I was like, I was a geek. I've been a geek all my life. I've been a geek all my life. I have been. But some of those thugs thought, well, being a geek, she'll be easy because she craves attention. So all I got to do is sweet talk her, and I got it. And I wasn't. I was smarter than that.
that whole charm of theirs drop when you don't give them the time of day, and then all of a sudden you're a broad, you're a hoe, you're this,
Yeah,
you're that. And that
yeah.
that tells you all what you expected out of them. Which good on you for being able to see through that BS.
And I also lost. It ruined so many of my friends in the neighborhood I was in. I just saw so many of them get ruined by it. Whether it was unwanted pregnancy, which most of them had, or a sexually transmitted disease, or some have even lost their lives because some of the thugs were involved in gangs and drugs. And I've known some that are not around now because they were wrapped up into that. I've lost a lot of friends to that. in my hood. So I did not want that for myself. I knew right away I did not want that for myself. So I they called me the names like you said, the geekdom, but I stayed right there in my little geekdom for now until, you know,
Hmm.
the right one came along because I could clearly see some of you now. And I told her, I said, why in the world would I want to date so and so when he's got like 5 or 7 babies all over the place?
And you've
A lot
heard
of
me a
them
few
dead.
times. You've heard me a few times. It's like you know how how these SJ hobos like to try to defend black folk with their rhetoric, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only when we become a statistic when they do that, especially with the black men. And I even said this. I think I said this to my mom too. I said they don't care about us. They only care about us when we're dead, especially us
Exactly.
black men. That's the only time you guys ever rise to the occasion or say that's the only time you ever do step up for us is when we're dead or when we commit a sexual assault an abuse because I heard them like well black men make 70%. They make the majority of the crimes, so of course they're going to do that, they're the biggest abusers. The biggest cases of better women. Oh, like so now you start caring. Either A, we die, B, we committed a crime against a woman, or C, all the above. That's so that's when you start caring, or at least or at least that's when you start jumping in, huh? Okay, I see where your priorities are. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that you that majority of us are out of work. You know, because or at least you don't step you step in you don't step in when you when you feel like we're underappreciated in the workforce or there's not that's you don't step in when there's not nearly up many of us working. You don't build a business out of that and hire more black people since you're so concerned for us, right? Don't hear you doing that at all. But you start caring when A, either the black man has been shot by police, shot and killed. Mind you, he's
Hmm.
a criminal, and I will say that he's a criminal. Or B, he's committed a crime against a woman. That's the only time you show attention, and that's the
Yeah.
and that's the only time you that's the only time you start defending us is when we committed a crime against a woman.
There.
And God forbid it's a white woman too.
Oh God, no. Oh yes, definitely. Black women quiet.
God,
There's this white woman. Oh, shoot this. Oh, call the rafters. Oh yeah. I mean, that was one of the main reasons Bill Cosby got convicted because some of his victims allegedly were white women, and they weren't having that. They weren't having
mhm.
that. They weren't having that. They weren't having that. That's very true. That's very true. If it's a crime against a white woman, it's
I like Eloise right here. All I'm saying is they don't care about us.
yes. Well, the song
All
is
I'm trying
true.
to say is I like Mad News. He said they effectively just make every dead one a martyr. Yep, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. They pretty much yep, like they're doing now. They're doing now with a certain purpose in Minneapolis. They're trying to make it that way now. But even if we turn it to or direct it to pop culture, looks like well, I don't know if it was you or someone else brought about now they claim to be for diversity and positive images of black males. Well, lately I haven't seen too much image of it because when they want to add a black male to a film or a cast, someone said that they don't want Shaft, they want Urkel. They want a black male.
Carlton, or at least
Yeah,
somebody mentioned that they don't look for the Carltons. They always want the they expect the Will Smith, but I think it was a trooper that also mentioned that they don't want the black man to look threatening. Is what they're
exactly.
saying. They think a threatening black man is a stereotype. It's not. No, you don't like a black man that has a mind. You don't like a black. that's why they don't like that version of a black man. Because
Mm-hmm.
that black man will tell you, "If you pay me," like I said, like I've always
Yes.
said, like if you want me on a good cause or anything, if you pay me, because that's the only way you won't get you, like nonprofit. You better pay me though. You better pay me. Where's your money coming from? You better start. You better profit. Because I want a return on investment. I'm investing my time into working for you, and you're talking about somewhere in a nonprofit organization. You better pay me then. How you gonna pay me? Well, we're gonna pay you exposure. I don't care about no damn exposure. I want my money.
Well,
This Negro smarter than we thought.
yes.
Like what Eddie Griffin said. This Negro is smarter than we thought.
Exactly, and they got dignity. Yeah, and I think that's
Hmm.
something that Dave Chappelle went through with his
Hmm.
show. With his show, he I can't remember his exact quote, but
Victoria,
he
we're not bagging on Will or Steve. Don't worry. Relax. Relax.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
They're
no,
safe. They're safe.
yeah, they
Go
don't.
ahead, Leah.
What was I forgot what was with Dave Chappelle, but I think he was wondering why. I can't remember exactly because if I don't quote it right, it might sound weird. But he was wondering why, uh, uh you know, it had to do with using the N word or his show a lot, or they
Mm,
could make fun of that, but he couldn't make fun of those of the LBGT crowd. And the person said on the LBGT, I forgot what the producers told him, and I think she said something to the line of, "Well, the AGT are sensitive and they don't want to be offensive." And he said, "Well, what about me? You think I know he's only exactly the exact quote he's saying. I can't remember it word for word, but basically the line is, you're excusing them, but it's okay to make fun of me and my gender and my race and say derogatory terms, but I can't say derogatory terms, about
mm-hmm.
them." And the producer's like, "This is pretty much what Dave Chappelle said." I said, "Wow, Dave Chappelle really is smart on how he runs his own show." And so
Mm-hmm.
it was something on that line. And I think about Michael B. Jordan and the Super man thing. Now I'm hearing that he's backing out of it because he didn't want to be the Black Clark Kent. He thought they were going to have him be this other black superhero, and they told him that, and Jordan was like, "No, nah, that's not what I signed up for. I don't want to be that. I want to be I want to be my own character." So they weren't expecting that. He even had to explain it to Oprah. I want to be Superman, but I don't want to be Clark Kent. I don't want to be a black Clark Kent. Why would I want to be that? I want to be my own man. So Warner Brothers backed out of that. So, but at least at least he was thinking on how they wanted to probably use him. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think he caught to that, because now he's not going to be in any of them. He didn't want anything. He doesn't want anything to do with it now, because it's not what originally he was signed up for. But
No.
yeah, I do agree with you that as long as the black character is non-threatening. Now, some strong black males doesn't mean that they're threatening. It just means, So, my mind is going a blank right now with some other examples, but I draw a blank.
Mm.
But the ones I brought out, like the Urkels and the Carltons and stuff like that, yeah, they're comfortable with. But
No, they want that tree dude. That's what
one
they
of the
want.
yeah, they want the one that's willing to be in drag all day long, and
Look,
just wear the
I have no issue with drag queens or any person who wants to be flamboyant.
Oh, I don't
Freaking
either.
Look, Tim Curry had made a career out of that. Freaking there was even a moment where David Bowie made a career out of that. That
Oh,
flamboyancy.
I don't either. One thing I always said about when Key and Peele had their show on Comedy Central, I said, boy, they go out of they when they play women, they go out of their way, don't they? They put the lipstick on and the blush and the
Hmm.
and the dresses, and
Hmm.
I think they said that they hey, we want to be we wanted to be taken seriously and keep it real, and they did. They said they had a makeup artist come in. They say make them up, put the wig
Mm-hmm.
on, put the dresses on, find the
Mm-hmm.
dresses for our shape.
They went out. They went out there. Even like I said, here's my thing. I just don't want it anywhere near school children.
I see.
I
Yeah.
think that I think that's the dumbest idea. What a drag queen need for school other than to teach drag queen? If now look here, if there's a studio that helps people get really acclimated into the drag queen scene, go on and do that. I don't need them to be reading children's books about gender and all that stuff. If you want drag queens to read to children, they should be reading Three Little Bears, Goldilocks and Three Little Bears, Little Red Riding Hood, ABCs and 1, 2, 3. It's not no LGBTQ plus whatever left right F star switch or whatever you want to call it. None
Mm-mm.
of that bullshit.
Mm-mm.
They're supposed to be there to read to kids, not educate kids about gender diversity. Kids are supposed to go into gender diversity at their own pace when they get older. Y'all can thumb down me all y'all want. Y'all can disagree with me. That's fine. I'm look. I've already switched to libertarian as of right now, but I'm also still willing to give leeway where it's given. But I'm gonna put my foot down on seeing these clown boys. See, here's the thing: they didn't hire no real drag queens. They hired some pedophiles that pretend to be drag queens.
Exactly. Yeah.
The
Exactly.
only only drag queen I would love to see reading to some kids was Billy Porter because he can do it, and he's a genuine artist. Now he's now went to gender fluidity. I was like, yeah, no. See, I
Mm-mm.
liked you in American Horror Story. You actually made Coven come back and feel bearable now. Now I saw you in there. I was like, bruh, I hate these guys, but now you made it better. Thank you. But now, ah, yeah, I'm not gonna watch you play fairy godparent or whatever you want to
Whatever.
call yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, bro, I saw a freaking I saw a freaking tabloid with him, and I was smiling. I was I was very happy to see that man, living his best life. Now he done went woke. I'm like, oh no,
Oh,
no.
just like
You a
everybody else.
sexy man too. Like, bro, you had me fall in love with you. That's how beautiful you were. You know what I'm saying? There, I'm not afraid to admit this. Like there are some men out there that make me like, bruh, fuck all that no homo bullshit. I will marry you in a heartbeat. Like no bullshit. Excuse me, on both fronts, no bullshit. But I was like that with David Bowie. I was like that I was almost like that with Billy Porter. I was like that with uh who was it? Somebody else. It was somebody. I'm gonna stick to those examples. But I was like that. I was bruh, I will marry you in a heartbeat because you are a beautiful man, and that's the only reason why I want. That's the only reason why that like everybody asks because the man was beautiful. Nope, no sex needed. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nada. I just wanted to marry the man because the man was beautiful. He could. I don't care if he was straight or not. The man was beautiful, and I wanted to marry him because he was so beautiful. That's it. That's all. That's how weird Wolf Tan is. Like he just married people just solely because of looks.
I was waiting for. I thought a question would pop in the chat. I first thought for sure someone's going to pop up and say, "Well, who was it?" But no, no, no one has posted that question yet.
Yeah.
Is it who was it? Speaking of
Oh yeah. He asked who's thumbing down. Like I don't know, man. I might catch a thumb down here and there. But I know you guys always thumb me up, so I ain't worried about that. But what I'm saying, some people be thumbing the professor's stream. down. Some people had thumb sound engravers down. Even Fan Man. Well, it's Fan Man. It comes with the territory, but
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. I'm just saying I've seen it happen. Like we had a high number count today just now. It was in the tens and elevens, fluctuating back and forth. Right. It's like
Hmm.
one of these random people that didn't say anything probably thumbed me down when I talked about the drag queens. I was like, yeah, I'm not reneging on what I said either at all. I'm not reneging on what I said. I don't think they should be teaching kids about gender politics and all that stuff. It's what reading books that has something to do about three little pigs, the Billy Goat's Gruff, and Goldilocks and Three Bears. I don't look. I don't care if you're wearing a rainbow suit. You better be reading them kids Aesop's fables, not where
Exactly.
put a dingalang in a hoo ha.
Exactly. That's worded very well. I cannot argue with that. I was saying that myself the other day. You have to let children be children. I don't know what's going on in this business, but it's kind of like they want children to think like adults. They're children. You have to let them be children, and you have to teach
It's
them
that
values.
thought process that we're supposed to talk to them like adults. Yeah, you're supposed to talk to them like adults, but at the same time, you're not supposed to be pushing adult things towards them.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. It's just like on
Like
Sesame
just because
Street.
you
It,
want
it
to
should be
talk to them. Go ahead.
it should be ABCs and one, two, threes, and that's what it
Nothing
should be.
else.
Nothing else. It should be nothing else. Nothing else. Not how they have it now.
Famous lines. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, that's what, let them learn that. I think when they push that, that's them pushing their own. Those that are advocating for that are trying to push their own life on these kids, and it's selfish because
I'm calling for what it
that's
is.
gratuitous.
I'm calling for what it is. Pedophiles are trying to infiltrate facilities and pretend to be good natured folks. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it like it is. It's people with the most heinous and degenerate and indecent lifestyles. It's gonna be like Spotlight. You ever heard of that movie Spotlight?
I heard of it. I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard of
It's a
it.
movie. It was a movie about this whole scandal about the Catholic Church.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, go on.
They
I
want to
heard
be
about
like that. They want to be like that. They try to preach the they try to push to get rid of God, right? But they're actually being the very nasty. Not saying all Catholics are pedophiles or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the very ones that were the very ones that were that did the most evilest things to little children. They want to be like that now. They want to be self righteous about it, but they got inspired by it all the
it.
same.
Yes, I agree. Exactly. That's what you get to warn out for. And that's what you have to listen out for because that's exactly what they want to be. And people don't see that. People are not seeing through that facade. You got to see through that facade. Everything is not as gray as they're trying to making it to be. They're not
Hmm.
trying to make that.
Oh, they got a lot of mental gymnastics there. It's like that one video I sent you about that lady about talking
Yeah.
about PTR.
Yes. Yeah. You sent me that one. I responded to you back with that one, didn't I? I said, "Oh, that's a very interesting, yeah, very interesting story coming from her." So I
I
did
got to see
respond
about
back
the
with
one
that.
with the preacher. If I ever do find it, got to send you that one too, because that he made well. They're basically just saying the same talking points, but it bears repeating. Basically, it bears a lot of repeating and regurgitating, of course, here and there, and that's basically what they're doing. They're trying to be they're trying to mentally tell themselves that they're doing right, but at the same time they're doing wrong, disgusting wrong things.
Uh, I got to step away for just a second. I'll be right back. Ladies' room. So I'll be
Yeah,
right back. I'll step away. So I'll be right back. So if there's any
I'll read
questions
the
that are in
comments
there,
real quick.
yeah, there's comments right there until I return.
Yeah, yeah, Son Roger. I'm like, if anybody's thumbing you down, then go ahead, thumb me down if you want to. If you disagree about the whole drag thing, like to be perfectly honest, I like drag queens just all the same. I just don't want them teaching gender studies to my nieces and nephews. Not saying that. I'm just saying, while they're in the precipice of developing, they supposed to learn ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Period. Johnny Powell says similar to media pandering to people of Asia descent with all this talk of the rise of Asian hate crime, where reports such as these are being exaggerated or misconstrued to a form of narrative. That's the news in general. That's why I don't watch it no more. Eloise Dwell says jobs being sent overseas because of high taxes leading to increased crime because of increased poverty. Yet yet people woke activists are all for it. Yep, exactly, exactly. Sad thing about it is they probably know that, but they don't have no. They're so up their butts about their own self righteousness that they don't want to move on that. Yeah, we know Urkel was Sonic. We all know. I'm up, over, and gone. Always agree with me about the drag queen things. Melissa Harris says him, Richard Pryor, and Willy Wonka guy were popular in my time, 67. You talking about Gene Wilder? OG. If you're talking about OG Willy Wonka, that's Gene Wilder. Dr. Wise says drag queens remind me of peacocks. Here, Wolf. Sarah says my time was different, and I meant no harm. I like Fat Albert. He was a cartoon icon. I didn't care much about Fat Albert. I did watch the live action movie, but I didn't really care for it. Keenan was a really good Fat Albert, but yeah. I also liked how the original cast for Fat Albert came to to the original Fat Albert's grave, who was that was a nice touch. I like that. That actually brought a tear to my eye at the end, near the end of Fat Albert, the live action movie. Ragamar says drag queen talk makes me think of the one person with the horn on his or her head. I don't know who you talking about. I don't even want to know. Dr. White says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving being deceived. 23, 3rd chapter, 13th verse. Dr. White also says they want to make everything morally ambivalent. That's probably why we're getting villains with reasons to be redeemed.
I'm back, and I
Donald
do
Powell
agree with that.
asks, all right. So Donald Powell asks, what's the current directory of horror as a genre? We're gonna get to that
Okay.
in a couple of weeks. We're gonna talk all about that.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be discussing that the Tuesday after next Tuesday will be villains, but we're definitely gonna be tackling horror. Let me get the date real quick. Okay.
While you're looking it
Hor-
up, I just want. Go ahead.
all right, got it. Horror will be on June 8th, and villains will be on June 1st. Romance, we'll be revisiting romance on June 15th. Because I had that talk, but I didn't have. I don't think I had that talk with you guys.
Right. That's a good. Yeah, and I think the horror I brought it up, or unless Wolf, you were already thinking about this. It's been on my
Mm-hmm.
mind lately because Hollywood's making announcements of some spooky films coming out, and I was just saying, they don't make good horror movies anymore. I don't get scared. It used to be back in the day. I'm not gonna say too much on it because we're gonna go into it, but I
Mm-hmm.
was just saying to myself, it used to be back in the day. If you saw a horror movie, you would come home and hide under the bed, or you would sleep with some light on in your room, or
You
you
made
would
that
close
comment
that window.
yesterday, actually.
I did. Okay, I almost did
Yeah,
100, but so
to some
I
to,
was,
to some degree of that effect. Yeah, you brought up. I
yeah,
also brought up body horror, and we had a nice conversation about it in Professor Stream.
yeah, we
What I
did.
was going to what I was going to suggest is some of my favorite horror movies as of recent, which is though not a horror movie. Upgrade can be counted as one. Body horror, to be specific, it's more of an action movie, but it can count as a horror movie considering what happens in the end, which I'm not gonna spoil that one. I'm not gonna spoil the ending on that one. You'll check that out yourself. Um, there was also Annihilation. If you care to watch Natalie Portman and Tessa Thompson in the same movie together, which good luck with that one. If you have nothing nice to say about those two.
Mhm. Which I don't.
Um, what was another good one? I hear that this new one called The Unholy is probably going to be good. You can't never go wrong with the Conjuring movies. Though I heard the Nun was actually pretty bad.
Well, that's yeah. They're starting to wear me out.
Uh,
They're starting to wear me out.
if you're
They
hus yeah, well I'm saying ghost movies are a bit too oversaturated. So I would say start with a Quiet Place and potentially a Quiet Place 2, which is out tomorrow actually. Yeah, Quiet Place
yeah,
2 is
it
out tomorrow. Finally. Finally.
is.
Been waiting for that for the longest time. It's supposed to come out last year, technically.
Hmm.
We all know why.
Yes.
That doesn't mean. But yeah, Quiet Place 2 is happening. Been trying to get Melissa Harris to check out Upgrade, but come on, Melissa. Not everything Blumhouse does is bad or trash. Upgrade is actually the best one out of all of them. That and Happy Death Day. So if you want something that's like very cookie dark humor comedy, Happy Death Day is one. Um, there's a recent one that they did too. I forgot what it's called. It's got Vince Vaughn in it, where it's basically Freaky Friday, but in a slasher setting. Freaky. It's called Freaky. Check that one
I
out if you want.
and also, if I may, for a second, switch gears, and
Mm.
I've got another interesting topic that's coming that I could suggest, and you can I'll touch on it a little bit, and then if you want to bring it up uh, in the future that you can. And this came from the other day I was listening to, and I think I sent you the clip, I don't know if you say, but I was listening to Miss Nice Edge, and they had Cameron Posh on there. And Cameron Posh is a guy that's sort of he's inside Hollywood. He's worked in Hollywood, so he knows
I'll
all the
have to
tricks and
still
tricks
look
of
into
trade.
that. But
Okay.
give me the rundown. Go ahead and give me the rundown.
Well, one of the topics that came up in the conversation there too was uh, 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 is there anything behind it? It brought up the MCU and the trash fire to be the Eternals, and why Feige's all of a sudden going the woke, and so or going the woke way, or becoming woke. And so Cameron Posh, a man that is a writer and he works in the industry, and I'm gonna try to quote him the best way I can. It may not be as clear, but maybe you'll get that when you watch the video. Cameron Posh has said that basically for Hollywood itself, Hollywood as a whole really doesn't like the fantasy comic book sci-fi genre as a whole. They disrespect it, they look down upon it, they think it's really juvenile. And that perhaps, and he said this is not unusual in Hollywood for people to do so. when
It's
feige
not.
started when Feige started to come up his ranks with the success of the MCU, he was invited more to the cocktail party circuits and the parties with the big wigs and the big players. Well, a lot of those big wigs and big players really didn't like him that much because one, he was able to build the MCU up over 10-year spans, and also he's sort of still considered an outsider to all those of the Hollywood elite and the Hollywood snobs that think that they know what movies are about or what movie making is about, and their movies are not making nowhere near the money that the MCU is bringing in. So a long story short, they don't like him and they want to get rid of him. So what they someone has probably do at these cocktail parties, because or whatever, is that most of these outsiders, or those that are not really into the movie scene, are seduced by wanting to fit in. They want to fit in with the heavy hitters and the big wigs and the
Mhm.
cocktail parties. They want to be like that. and the Hollywood is starting to see that the woke train is starting to slow down, that wokeism is not going to last very long. So some of them in Hollywood are not going to make too many more movies as woke because they don't want to lose money. But they're not telling Feige that. They're getting in his ear and telling him that, you should use these movies and these comic book films because these Hollywood folks think they're elitist and they're self-righteous and they think they're better than us. And he's probably hearing this at these cocktail parties. So in order to fit in, he feels he has to believe what they believe. So they've been sneaking in his ear and telling him that, yeah, we think it's a great idea if you go woke, basically. Use your comic books as a platform. And if you do that, you'll fit in with us. But really, behind his back, they want him to do it so that the MCU starts to fall and cracks and it basically implodes, sort of stuff, or stop making those movies. And I think he's on to something, because if you've ever saw an interview or just a sound bite and they asked a celebrity that's outside of the MCU what they think of it, most of them give negative comments. These really snotty, these, I call them the snobs of Hollywood, that look down on it. Most of the comments are negative, and they're meant to be negative. They're I call those backhand comments. They're meant to
Mm-hmm.
sound positive, but they're not. A lot of actors always say something negative. Oh well, the MCU or those comic book movies are dying, or those comic book movies are going away, or um they'll be over soon, or I don't do those kinds of films, they're beneath me. Some little things like that. And I think that is because, first, I do think, and that was a topic I was going to suggest to you, is does Hollywood hate the comic book genre? Do they hate the comic book genre? Do they hate it? My suggestion is I think they do. It's just like, and most people agree with me, and that's okay. It's just like, of course, a couple of years back when Martin Scorsese made his comment about the MCU, and
Mm-hmm.
when he was asked about it. Now, some people uh, felt shamed and agreed with him and said, "Yeah, the comic books." But you know what? Well, I didn't. I did not agree with him. And people said, "Why do you agree with him?" I
I
said,
mean, neither
"Because
did I.
I'm glad I wasn't alone, because everybody attacked me and they said, why
I
did you
did.
agree with
I
him?"
did, however, say there might be some truth into what he's saying, given what we're getting now. But I didn't overall
Sure.
agree with him in the idea. Especially, I even went to bat against James Cameron when he tried to diss Marvel too.
Yes.
Speaking about Wonder Woman, I was like, sit your male feminist ass down.
I do remember when he said that. Yes.
Get,
I follow
bruh,
you.
get back. Look. I was like, bruh, get back to me when you finally release Avatar 2. I'm still waiting for that one. Until then, sit down, shut the fuck up.
And I didn't even love Avatar that much, but
I mean, I
that
sung my praises here and there, but like when he was
Mhm.
announcing the whole, I was so super excited about to see it next chapter in Avatar. I was like, okay, I thought Avatar was a one time deal, dude. I thought that was one time deal. Like, okay, I'm willing to check out the sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people were singing their dissent towards it, right? But
Right.
this was a good opportunity for him to improve upon the next chapter, right?
Right.
So we got the list of Wikipedia had the list of when they're supposed to release out. 2017, or at least it was what year did 2009, right?
Yes.
So
What
the
was
next one was supposed yeah, the next one was supposed to at least be about like 2012. Got 2012. No trailer in sight. Got to 2014, which was supposed to be the third sequel. No trailer in sight on the second sequel. Okay. About 2019, I'm like, man, fuck you, shut up. Until you give me a teaser, excuse me, everybody. Until you give me a teaser that Avatar 2 is coming out, shut up. All was forgiven when he produced Alita Battle Angel, another movie that he was trying to get off the ground for a long time. I was like, okay, you still need to shut up though. Like look, Cameron, I'm gonna give you that one. I'm gonna let you have that one. But until then, I won't hear shit else about you complaining about any other movies being popular or what have you. But I'm gonna give you Alita Battle Angel. You gave us that one, okay? Granted, it was directed by Robert Rodriguez, but still, he produced it. Robert directed it. and again, it was something he wanted to do, but he gave it to somebody else. So technically, that he kind of helped it out too. So, Cameron, okay, I'm gonna be a little lenient with you for a while, but next time you try to make some declarations like you have in the past, I'm gonna say, where's Avatar 2? Where's Avatar 2? It's been how many years since you announced that you're gonna do a sequel? Now you tell me you're gonna do five of them. At first it was three. Now it's five. Like, oh, we're supposed to get five avatars now. Well, where's the second one? You still on the second one, man? I'm still waiting on the second one. I don't even want to see Jake Sully at this point. I want to see the Na'vi more. You know,
Right,
something like that.
exactly.
Like I don't even want to see Sam Worthington. Sam Worthington ain't getting any younger, anyways.
No.
He just ain't. So I don't want to see no
Mm-mm.
Jake Sully no more. I'm done. And he ain't a good actor to begin with, so I'm done. I mean, he was good in Sabotage. I liked him in Sabotage, but everything else, done. Nope. He screamed too much. Even when he jumping, yeah. When he punch, yeah. When he grab, yeah. That's all he does, yeah.
Absolutely
It's
agree.
like anybody asks me, is Sam Worthington a good actor? Only thing I know from Sam Worthington, as far as his acting is concerned, is one speed, yeah.
Well, we got a lot of that in Wrath of the Titans.
Oh, so much.
We got a
I
lot
can't.
of that.
I was like, yeah, I experienced too much of that in Clash. I was not going to experience that anymore in Wrath.
Mm-mm.
Like he's still in this one. Nope, no more. He screamed too much for my taste. And I'm usually the person that's that's superficial when it comes to actors screaming a lot. I mean, you can make the same argument with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Arnold Schwarzenegger makes it memorable. Sam Worthington doesn't. See, everybody loves Arnold for his screams. Everybody
Yeah.
loves that. Even even Sylvester Stallone with Rambo. Or Rocky. Adrian, come here. You know that they scream real good. Is all I'm saying. Sam Worthington don't got that. He just don't.
Mm-mm.
But what you gonna say, Leia? Anything you want to add before we start wrapping up? Because I know you're big on time, and we're starting losing the audience here. Everybody's starting to leave now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just suggesting to you that as a future topic, if you want to use it as a topic, does Hollywood hate comic book films? And when I mean Hollywood, I mean the Hollywood elite. Do
Short
they hate
answer,
these?
yes. Short
Would you like?
answer is yes. I'll
All
tell
right,
you why.
all right,
No, no, it's still gonna be a topic. Don't make no mistake about that. What I
okay,
am saying is the reason why I'm saying that is that they've always hated it. Always hate. In fact, they've always hated comics from the get go. Period. Hollywood always hated comic books. Period. Like I harken it back to the librarian in Never Ending Story, where he spoke dismissively about comic books too. But
yeah,
what I'm saying now, he came from a place of he's always been a book person, bar none. Nothing's ever going to change his mind. Comic books have a place in storytelling. He just didn't see them as a viable piece of storytelling because they were visual media and they were all about the action and all that stuff, right?
right.
Um, but Hollywood has always hated comics. They never. That's why they never had. They gave money to Superman, right? But they never had
Yeah.
much faith in Superman being successful the way it was. Now
Oh,
they
yeah,
saw it as a viable success, but they also wanted to control it because again they hated comics with a with an intense burning passion. By the way, so I,
I,
that's why Tim Burton never stood on board with Batman. That's why sorry, that's why Schumacher even had his own misgivings. Not necessarily he didn't hate comics, but like his he tried to do what he did right by everybody when it came down to comics. He did his own thing. That's why they were trying to push Nolan to do more of his own little comic book genre, which I mentioned in also same stream last night, just last night, is that they were hoping that Chris Nolan would continue the comic book trend too, because they didn't want nobody else to try to make it good, or at least they want a certain form of comic book, which is what he did with the Batman, with the Dark Knight trilogy. They wanted more. They still want more of that. So why they probably went on board with Zack Snyder and David S. Goyer, because they were hoping that they were going to keep comic books the way it was like that, so they wouldn't make so much money off of it in that way. Until MCU happened, of course, that started becoming a money train, and now we
Mhm.
and truth be told, the SJ Hobos was a very unpredictable thing that came across over time, and really though, that whole thing, it goes beyond our entertainment. It goes way beyond our entertainment. And I'm trying to tell everybody this. I know Professor is pushing one way, Fan is pushing another way, but RJ has made it a universal thing. It's all about the push for communism. That's why they want to change everything for what they quote think is for the better for comics. Period. They want to push communism, and they think by doing that through our media, it's basically what people have been saying, Orwellian. Um, in the case of disabilities and LGBT and people of different ethnicities and all that stuff, it's all about Harrison Bergeron. If you ever read that short story, which I'm sure you have, you're an avid reader,
Mhm.
of course, right?
Right.
You're very familiar with Harrison Bergeron, which
Yes.
I had the pleasure of reading it, and I think my teacher had us read it, and I read it, and I was like, whoa, that's not right. I even did a drawing of Harrison Bergeron from a project, for a school project. That's how deep it got into me, actually. When I did a picture of Harrison Bergeron. It's not an accurate picture, but whatever. That was just me. But yeah, it's bigger than what the professor's making out to be. He mentions it here and there, yes. Same thing with Fan Man, but they're still fixated on the media aspect, because their channel. But as RJ put it, it's all been a push towards communism, and they have found their opening. Basically, they have found an opening way to push their politics, their communist politics, into our media, which is why we have non-binary Flash and non-binary Snowflake and gay what's her brother's name, the new
Uh,
warriors I'm talking about.
you're not talking about North Star? Is it North Star you're talking about?
No, it was mirror that promotion for the new warriors with those twins,
Oh, okay. Oh,
Snowflake and whatever,
and
safe space.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I don't even think of their names. Yeah, yes, those
Yeah,
crappy.
non-binary
I'm thinking.
Snowflake and
Yes,
gay safe space.
yeah. Oh, we've got
Like they,
the gay Captain America, the black woman that didn't do her
not
hair and forgot her other pants leg, Captain
the
America.
Navajo, the Navajo America,
Yeah, yeah, the now America. Yeah, you were getting all
Or
that.
Geron America,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
or Marino,
yeah. That running wool America, whatever you want to
or
call
Captain
that.
Squanto.
Yes, yes,
I'm sorry,
exactly.
I can do this all day, yeah. To quote Captain America himself, I can do this all day. What that looks like to me through that design, that's really stereotyping right there. No Native American in their right mind would think a superhero would look like that. Now again, not taking away the fact that what we did back then as the best way of how we designed our Native American heroes, but we didn't make them look like that. The way how they at least we look. I'm gonna look at my Native American brothers. Like, at least we didn't make y'all look like that back then. Like like
Absolutely.
like like Apache Chief. Apache Chief looked really good compared to Amerino or Squant America. Uh, at least at least new Apache Chief from the Ultraman from JLU, right? He didn't look like
Yeah.
that. He didn't look like that. Torok. For those who don't know, Torok was a comic book before it became a video game. Torok Dinosaur Hunter for the N64 and beyond. Torok was a comic book, and Torok never looked like that. Torok never looked like that, like what they
War
did with that Captain America. Hmm?
Warpath. Warpath is a mutant, and he doesn't look anything like that.
Warpath only the only thing that could be stereotypical about Warpath is the fact that he got feathers in his head. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Same thing with Dawnstar, Daniel Moonstar, I think, or Mirage, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm saying the only thing that can call that out on is just the fact that she wore feathers in her hair and ponytails because apparently you can't wear pigtails. Get the fuck out of my face with that shit. It's hair, man.
Well,
Anyways, yeah, I'm just saying, like what we saw back then was a much more decent, respectable taste of people of different ethnicities. We didn't have John Stewart with a bowl in his lip or a bone in his nose, nor did we have Steel with African tattoos on his face with a spear in his hand. He had a hammer because he was John Henry Irons. John Henry, as in the tall tale John Henry. Mythology right there. That was our African American folklore right there that we had. That's our stuff. Am I right, Leia?
I
Am I right?
absolutely agree. I agree 100%. And again, don't know why nobody wants to do a movie about that. No, can't do that. Nope, nope. It's our
We
American
can't have these
folklore.
Negroes be hopeful and look up to an African American tall tale. Yeah, right.
Right.
Freaking
Yeah,
freaking
right.
freaking. Don't y'all know that John Henry was a Gandhi dancer? He's a Gandhi dancer. You know, no 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 no. I don't know the cadence. I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking about. They were in color purple. I got me rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
I
remember.
heard calling. I'm calling name. He not listening. Lord help me, Lord. You know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Hmm.
oh, oh, oh. Same Proctor. Same Proctor. John Henry. John Henry. John Henry was a powerful man, born with a hammer. Born with a hammer in his hand. Yep. Mm-hmm. Love that
Yes.
Disney short. Love it.
Yes. I remember that
The
scene.
Disney American Tales. Oh my goodness. Mm, 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 mm. Can watch
I
that for days on end. I'm sorry, Lay. I'm over here geeking out. I'm cutting you off. Go ahead. Give me your experience.
No, I was going to say I do remember that cartoon myself, and the first thing I said was, "Why aren't they doing that? It's right there in front of them." John Henry would be a great story to tell. American folklore, American story, African story about a black male. No, we'll just go with the non-binary black Tim Drake or something like that. Yeah, we'll just go that way. John Henry is
Because
right there. These stories are right there. These kids growing up now will know nothing about the legend of John Henry. They won't know nothing about it because they're not teaching it to them. They're teaching them,
neither
the
is
Black
our own people
Superman.
teaching them.
Exactly.
Ne-
You know.
Neither is our own people. That's what really angers me the most. Our own people is telling us we're going to teach our real history. Like what real history are you talking about? The history that you done concocted up in your own head. Is that the real history that you're talking about, or are you talking about the history that our olden days black folk has always taught us, has told to us? Which is it? Because you don't represent the olden days. For one, you want to get rid of the olden days, so you can perpetuate this defeatist mentality and this race hustle mentality towards our own people. So think twice before you even call me a traitor of my own race, or Leia, or
Ex-
Victoria. And
ex-
I'm assuming Dominic is also black here too, because he chimed in every once in a while when we brought in the black talk here and there.
mhm.
So I'm going to assume he's black too. But go ahead, Leia.
Well, that's what I mean. I want to bring it back around to, yeah, that's why that's another question is that, yeah, those stories are right there and they're not doing them. Is that it tells you that these they're not teaching. All they know is black. You got a black Captain America, you got a black Superman. When there's so many wonderful stories about black characters and folklore that they could tell them, that they're not going to tell them, and they're doing that on purpose. It's not accident. It's not. There's a purpose to it. I call it revenge storytelling, but it's not. I saw a
Hmm.
YouTube video on that too. I'll send it to you when I find it. I saw a video where a guy said that this swapping is nothing but revenge. This is nothing but revenge. This is not empowering.
I
They
know
think
Eric
it's
July
empowerment.
brought that up too.
He's right. He's right. The more I see it and look down at it, he's absolutely right about that. But to get back to what I mentioned earlier was, I was going to say, with them knowing about, I agree with you when you say about the woke, but do you think that there are some in Hollywood that is using the woke so that they could bring down the comic book and fantasy phenomenon that
Hmm.
we're experiencing right now?
Hmm.
And and
Hmm.
and
I Like I said, Hollywood has always hated the comic book genre. That's why. That's why. Truth be told, look, um, Roger and Gene Cisco, Roger even Gene Cisco, they were very well polished reviewers, and I will respect them to the even. I respect them to the day I died. Let's just say that they had their own they had their own viewpoints on video game movies, but they also had their same viewpoints on comic book movies too. So
mhm.
I'll take what they have to say about them, especially the negative with the grain of salt. But they are very again. It's the same thing with Marcel Stacey. I don't agree with everything he says, or at least I don't agree at all in what he said about comic book movies. I'm black and Asian. Oh, nice, dude. Thank you. See, I pay attention. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Wolf pays attention to the comments. So I'm like, yep, my guess was correct. He is black, but he's also Asian. Good on you, brother. You got the best of both worlds. Anyways,
Mhm.
again, back to what I said about Martin Scorsese. Don't agree with him, but I'm not going to deny that there's some truth in what he's saying. There's, I'm not going to deny that there is some truth in what he's saying with today's antics of Hollywood. They're mostly selling a theme park that there I like to call it Ned Flanders theme park.
Okay.
Where I'm going with this is that, remember that episode where he discovered that his wife, upon her death, wanted to do a theme park based around religion, right?
Right. Yes. Praise land.
So
Yeah.
funny. No, but when they got on a roller coaster, right? And they
Yeah.
were stopped by this animatronic, and before they enjoy the ride, he has to read the whole Bible, or at least the whole commandments.
Yes.
That's what I like to. That's why I imagine every time like I said with the originals and the order, when they bring up the whole mansplaining and all inclusive, like, we gotta stop for that. I'm here for
Yeah.
some. That's every time they bring up the whole, oh, we need to be inclusive. You need to be inclusive. You need to open your mind. There's a lot. Do you know there's a lot of people that are underprivileged? And I'm like, but what's that got to do with a show that's based around steampunk? Or what's that got to do about aliens that have acid for blood? Or alien big game hunter? What's that got to do with that? Which I'm pretty sure they're going to do that in this upcoming Predator movie that has this female protagonist,
Oh,
which
oh,
we already. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was gonna say it's written right all over the board because they've already said that this girl is going to be stunning and brave, and she's going to defeat the misogynistic men of her tribe to defeat the predator. So I'm like, well, I already know where this is going. Already, I know where this is going.
Their
Yep.
words.
It's basically, if you read the plot summary, that's basically what it is. But I heard something on the line of she is going to put down the men of her tribe. I can't think of the right words right now, but it's something on that line. Basically, the patriarchy. She's going to take down the patriarchy of her tribe to defeat the predator. So it's not really about really defeating the predator. It's about really taking
How
down the
is
patriarchy.
how is it empowering
There's
for a
words.
woman? No, I'm just saying here. It's this whole push for female empowerment, right?
Right.
Empowerment comes from self empowerment, or at least you get empowered by other people around you. So how is you empowered if you're taking down somebody that's that you deem a threat to your power? Wouldn't you want to take their philosophy and lead it to a positive change instead of just tearing it all down and destroying? It's all really what they're selling is destroying the establishment. Period. It's not empowering. They don't leave anything. And I like what RJ has said one time. They don't leave anything left to pick up from. And I made this point too. I said they don't want nobody. They don't want to clean up the mess they made. They want somebody else to clean up the mess they made, which effectively means they become the very people that they deemed that they claimed oppressed them. The oppressed have become the oppressors, as I said years ago been when I've been following this revelation as to what these social justice warriors were doing now. And I tell you, these movements, these social movements, I was all for back then, like the feminist movement. I wasn't going to call myself a feminist or even a male feminist for that matter, but I was really agreeing with what the feminists were saying sometimes until I woke up. Then the LGBTQ got the gay marriage, and I was happy about that too. And now I'm just like until they start practicing the very thing that religious groups claim that they were doing, or at least I don't classify the true LGBT, the ones that want to be normal to do this specifically. No, the ones that pretend to be because they can't get a woman, or they couldn't get a straight male. Those are the
Exactly.
ones that are doing the degeneracy, while at the same time hurting themselves too. They really are hurting themselves doing that because they're doing something, or they're forcing themselves to do something that they normally wouldn't do, and they know that they're straight. They know that they don't swing both ways, or swing one way or swing another opposite direction. They do it obviously for the attention, and then of course the non-binary thing came in. I was like, yeah, LGBT, y'all need to sort this shit out pronto, or otherwise you're gonna lose me as a potential ally. Cause I used to be all for y'all rights and stuff until y'all made a me thing. I'm like, nope. Mm-mm. And then you starting to change. Y'all starting to own pronouns now. You know, the very language that is taught to us, which is a specific language. There's a reason why it's specified, or at least it's built around like that. No, I'm not finna dumb myself down to make yourself feel good. Never gonna do that. That's not happening. So yeah, same thing with the dare I said I would have almost agreed with Black Lives Matter. You know, the Trayvon Martin stuff and all that stuff, until I realized somebody gave me an eye opener. One of my coworkers, he said, "You never lived the lives that we have. You have it way more easier than we do." Not, and I was like, "You're right." So, and then George Floyd happened, and when it came out, the fact that he was a criminal, I was like, "Y'all done lost y'all way, completely lost your way."
Yeah.
And what was the nail in the coffin? One of the founders openly admit that they're trained Marxists, and this is after I learned about Karl Marx and what was his his plans for the future, and it's pushed for communism, right?
Right.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh nah, now y'all ain't bruh. Anything that y'all guys say that for me to have any sympathy for what you guys gotta say, I got nothing, nada, no. You are led by Marxists. I'm not here for it at all. I'm done with you guys completely. I told my mom this. I'm like, I'm not following them because their founders are trained Marxists. As these are their words on TV, not necessarily TV, on social media. They straight up said trained Marxists. They're Marxists. I do not follow communism. I will not sign up for communism. Communism has done nothing for anybody in its practice and inception. Exactly, Don Powell. Like you're the only liberal I'll be okay with. If you're classic liberal, that's the only person I'm okay with. Says I'm a classic liberal that learns moderate on some things. However, I don't fall in line with the far left. Exactly. You don't have to. You can still be liberal, but you don't have to co-sign with what they believe in. But that being said, like I told him, I'm never going to be part of BLM. I'm never going to have any signs, nor will I wear a shirt because they're led by Marxists. They're led by three Marxists. Even she came out on Twitter saying she my father was a misogynist because he told me to fix him some coffee. I'm sorry, but who pays the bills in the house that you live in? Who gave birth to you? Who 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 allows you to sleep your behind on their bedclothes? And you're mad at them because they asked you to fix them a cup of coffee. That tells you right there. Even Ishi said it best. A lot of these people, a lot of these types of people, are like this because they're trained to hate their parents, specifically their daddies.
Yes.
It's always been like that. But that being said, let's start wrapping it up. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up for this fun stream. Sorry that we had a lot of technical difficulties for in the case of Trooper Leia Plus Size. I'd like to thank you for joining us. Sign us out.
Well, everybody, this is Leia Plus Size, your lovely Leia of Valor. And I want to thank everybody that came with us today and joined us. It was a little short time, but I enjoyed it. And I thank everybody for all the comments that you've made. If you did not get a chance to make a comment, please make the remarks in below. We would love to hear from you. We want to hear what you like, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see more of, and what would you like to see more in this fun stream. If you have suggestions on what you'd like to have in a fun stream, we'd love for you to put it down there because we want to make this a community thing and we like to hear from everybody. No suggestion is too small. No suggestion is too minor. It can be the mildest things. If you like to talk about the relationship of Tom and Jerry, in the cartoons, you can put that
Yeah,
into a suggestion. If you want to talk about the Tom and Jerry, what are they really like? You can put that into or why did the Looney Tunes make us laugh? I'm just saying, no topic is off limits. So we definitely like to hear from you. So I've enjoyed my time here, and I
I
hope you.
will. I will put this in.
Mhm.
What mind you, I like that you said that, but I gotta put this in. Uh, no talks about the political side of things. I mean, we'll make allusions to the current president and former president, but we're not talk we're not going to be elaborating more about that much. And I know I bring try not to steer us towards talking about BLM. I know I've mentioned them a few times, and I'm gonna make it today the last time I ever gonna mention them because they make me sick when I think about them. They make me sick. Let's just be honest. But like I said, that's something we won't be. We'll try our best not to bring up as much in that case. But anything else, I'm open for. Very open for. I will let you know if I'm qualified to talk about that or not. Like I know Don Powell bring up magic systems. I'm not fully familiar with how magic system works. So last thing I want to do is give the wrong information I'd rather have somebody else who has a better understanding of magic system. Dr. Powell shows his enthusiasm. He says, I wouldn't mind a talk on Tom and Jerry. Would you analyze JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in terms of how creative use their passion, in this case music, to make an engaging story? Yes, I've seen just about most of JoJo from Phantom Blood all the way up to Stardust Crusaders. That's as far as I gone so far. So that's all that I could talk. If I do talk JoJo, that's all I'm going to be talking about. I haven't read the manga yet to really get that far into all the chapters, the arcs. I mean, Leia, uh, I'm. Is that all you want to
Yes.
say? By the way, okay.
Well, yeah, that's just about it. I just want to say thank you for putting that in there, Commander. We'll keep all that in mind, and I hope I see you all next week.
Mhm. Anyways, guys, this has been your Wolf Commander Wolf 10. Uh, I'm your werewolf. Thank you for everybody for being here. Be sure to check out everybody else who I've always listed off before I usually sign out, but you know that's a mouthful, so my mouth my throat's giving out for a while.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for everybody. And remember, you are UN Spacey Wolf Fleet, and welcome to the Wolf Fleet.